and we did not. We had Penn State 13 with the 95 or how many voters we ended up having for our mybookie.ag poll. So we were not sold on Penn State. We had them 13th. Phil says the AP poll will have them in at number 8. The one team we had in the top 10 that he doesn't have is Utah, or as I like to call them, the national champions from our first dynasty of EA Sports college football. So that's the AP poll.
I'm not one of those that's going to wring my hands that it's all SEC and Big Ten, but that does feel weird that it's all SEC and Big Ten.
It's going to be all SEC and Big Ten.
I know. I mean, it just feels weird, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, in Notre Dame, obviously, but I mean, just to see no Big 12 teams up there and to see no ACC teams up there, that is just going to feel weird. I guess I'll get used to it, and it'll take some getting used to.
Which one of those top 10 teams has the best chance of not being ranked at the end of the season?
Because keep in mind, that is not the official top 10, but if that were the top 10, historically, one of those teams would finish unranked.
Yeah, just go through it real quick again.
Georgia.
No chance.
Ohio State.
No chance.
Texas.
No chance.
Oregon.
No chance.
Alabama.
No chance.
No chance.
Okay.
Being outside the top 25, no chance.
We're halfway home.
Yeah.
No, I mean, a 7-5 Alabama would be unranked.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, boy.
I don't know that we'll live that
I would
long.
dread those shows.
That's going to be
Notre Dame. 6.
I don't see I think no chance with that schedule.
Michigan.
I could see Michigan be
7-5,
8-4.
Penn State.
I could see Penn State 7-5, 8-4.
Ole Miss.
Not with that schedule. I don't think there's any
Missouri,
way.
not with that
Missouri.
I don't think so.
We do this every year. Like, man, I just don't see it this year. But to your point, you said you could see Michigan or Penn State, but historically, one of those teams finishes unranked. And I think historically, on average, 2 or 3 finish outside the top 10.
So
it might be outside the top 20.
Last year, USC was that team. And that was it.
Yeah,
there's one every year.
Only takes one.
There's one every year, and every year we look at it, and it is hard to convince yourself that any of them will finish absolutely, completely unranked.
Yeah, I mean, we did a pretty good job last year. With Georgia was your preseason number 1, Michigan was number 2, Ohio State was 3, and Alabama was 4. Washington was still number 10.
Yeah, I mean, that's not that big a jump to go from number 10 to playing for the championship.
Yeah. Daniel says in the mybookie.ag chat room, I think it's Penn State that will fall off. Josh says Missouri, if they don't have the season, they lay an egg.
We've seen Eli Drinkwitz have one good year. I mean, solid years at Missouri, a couple of 6-win seasons, 5-5 in 2020, but last year was the first double-digit win season. They're not going to sneak up on anybody.
Our final question today brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Our 60-second answer here. More pressure. Bronny James playing with the Lakers, are now Charlie Woods as he tees off today at the U.S. Junior Amateurs. How much pressure is Bronny under? How much pressure is Charlie Woods under? Who do you think's got the more pressured life living in the shadow of their dad?
I think it's Charlie Woods because you're out there alone. You're on an island truly in golf. You can be hidden if you're Bronny James and you play with other great players, still have success at a smaller level. I also think there's people out there very polarizing on Bronny that don't think he's going to make it. I think if you ask most people, they're going to say Charlie Woods, if he's got the mental makeup, he's going to be fine.
Yeah, I don't know that most people think Bronny will approach LeBron.
No, not even close.
I think they think Charlie can be good enough to be a PGA Tour winner, which is not approaching Tiger yet.
He's
but it's a lot to expect.
I would bet on Charlie much before I would bet on Bronny.
But I would bet against both.
I think Charlie is more talented than Bronny in their sport.
Probably so.
What's so crazy though, U.S. Junior Amateur, they show side by sides his swing, his dad's swing.
Yeah,
I mean that's a lot of pressure, man.
Oh, there's no doubt. I was talking to a friend of mine.
How close are the swings?
Oh, I mean, Charlie's is really, really good.
Yeah. And their finishing point is exactly the same.
But he could go win 2 majors, which puts you in pretty rare air, and people would say, nothing like his dad.
Yeah.
Kid won 2 majors.
Yeah. Don't put that red shirt on Sunday, Charlie.
Yeah.
Nothing like your dad. Just interesting. Now at the U.S. Amateur for young Charlie Woods this week. All right, that's our show today. Don't forget the Pennant Grace, their show yesterday, still available for you as they talk about the Braves free agency and the deadline and more injuries. New Uncorked mailbag coming out this week. The Elephant in the Room with Mick and Jake. Village Vice with Brad and Zach. All that available for you right now at Next Round Live. Don't forget the Meltdown is live at 2 o'clock today, 2 Central. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Ryan Day did his talking, and we'll hear what he was saying at Big Ten Media Days. As that's one team, along with Georgia and Texas, and then a handful of others that have national championship expectations. We'll get to that, a players-only meeting close to home, and a lot more to talk about today on the live show. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Rockstar, Lunceford, Tyler, Forrester, Taylor Korn, and the rest of the crew up here, Emily Grace McWhorter, Kelsey and Reed, and Tim Melton. Get ready for the 2 p.m. Meltdown Central Time a little bit later on today. Let's start with, this is talking season, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone's talking, and we've got some great sound bites coming up from all the media days going on throughout the show as we continue to get ready for college football. 31 days away from week 0, basically a month away from week 0 of college football. Game Day has sent out their site. They'll be on the College Green in Dublin, 2 to 5 p.m. Irish Standard Time. Normal time for College Game Day, but Irish Standard Time.
Okay.
I guess that's what IST stands for. Maybe International Standard Time. I don't know.
I would go Irish Standard Time. That'd be my guess.
I guess. If you're a David Pollock, and I hate just to throw one name out there, but, ESPN did all those cuts, and they're flying over to Dublin.
Yeah. Show's got to go on.
Yeah.
It's pretty exotic.
No, it's pretty exotic.
That's where the game is.
Yeah, but it's not like it's a great game.
Oh, it's not a great game. You could
Georgia Tech, Florida State's not a good game for you?
No.
Well, time out. We'll start right here then.
No, I'm just saying there's not any great games in week 0, but you could do it from the studio if you're really cash strapped, right?
They're not cash strapped.
Yeah, that's the thing. ESPN is not cash strapped.
They make millions of dollars profit.
I get
billions
that,
of dollars profit.
But I'm saying if you're a David Pollock and whoever else got laid off, and you were told, "Hey, we've got to make these cuts."
Yeah.
We got to make sure the bottom line's okay, and then you've got everybody else that you used to work with going to Dublin.
That's
got to sting a little bit.
Yeah, but I think David is the victim of ESPN being owned by a much larger company.
Yeah.
And as we saw in corporate America, sometimes the successful properties get cut because we can't just cut everybody from the bad properties.
Yeah, but also
which doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, but then sometimes they're out of people to cut. Like literally, we have cut everybody from these properties we could cut.
But
so we got to cut somewhere.
Performance based, right? If I remember correctly, nobody really thought David Pollock did a fantastic job on College Game Day here, right?
Oh, but you've got people like Kimberly Martin. I'll go on and call it out. You've got Desmond.
I don't even know who Kimberly Martin is.
Is she on Game Day?
No, she's on that set right there.
Okay, but she's not on Game Day. We're talking about the Game Day cast.
Yeah.
Okay, Desmond then.
Desmond Howard's been there forever. He's
but he's not as good as Pollock.
Oh, I think he is.
Yeah, well.
I think he is.
And that becomes the subjective part of it. Yeah.
Now you're adding Nick Saban.
For way more than what they were paying Pollock.
Yeah, my goodness.
That's the thing.
Did I hear right that Saban's making more money this year for Game Day than he was coaching?
I've heard that, but I don't believe that to be true.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
But I do think it's closer than, from what I was told, the number I was told, closer than a lot of people would think, but I don't think it is more.
I would think it would be about half, about $5 million.
I think it's north of that, but I don't, obviously that has not been announced. I'm just going on what I've been told.
Well, Herb Street's obviously your number one, but what is he making? Is he making 10?
I would imagine Herb Street's probably up around 10. All he does for them now.
Yeah, absolutely.
He basically, Herb Street eats up 2 jobs for them. He's their main game analyst and he's their main game day analyst. That's 2 full-time big money positions.
And just the wear and tear on the body from him jumping in a jet and flying to the game site when it's not the same location.
And Monday Night Football.
Thursday night.
Thursday night football, yeah.
Amazon's
company,
payday.
separate W-2
That's just
for him.
more work.
And he gets to travel with his dog, which is incredible.
Yeah, this past year, absolutely. But back to Georgia Tech, Florida State. Haynes King is now the quarterback at Georgia Tech.
He led the comeback, the big comeback down in Miami.
There is some discussion when you're stacking up best quarterbacks in the in the ACC this year. How quickly do you get to Haynes King at Georgia Tech? And now their improved defense. That's a tricky, could be a snow globe game in week 0 in Dublin against Florida State.
I would love to see it. I don't know if I am prepared to say that right now. Haynes King, the upside, we always heard it at Texas A&M. Where does he stack up with other quarterbacks in this league? I don't know.
Let me tell you
I
where
think
he
he's
was.
Probably middle of the pack.
Let me tell you where he was last year. Last year he
quickly.
was 6th in the conference. That's yards per game. behind Drake May. Where's he playing this year?
NFL.
Yep.
Jordan Travis.
Not, but
But
good.
Not at Florida State.
He's not playing.
It's Tyler Van Dyke.
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Alabama gets him week 3.
Jack Plummer.
Jack Plummer.
Oakland Raiders. I mean, Las Vegas Raiders.
Wherever it is.
Yeah.
Cade Klubnik. That is the only returning.
Clemson.
That's the only returning quarterback statistically that was in front
But
of
you got
Haynes
Cam Ward coming into the league. You got Grayson McCall
That's
coming
right,
into the league.
that's right, yeah.
Francisco Mendoza is a quarterback that people haven't watched at Cal that is better than Haynes King.
Yeah, I would. You better than Haynes King.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd ask you this: better quarterback in that game, Georgia Tech, Florida State.
I would still take DJ.
You would.
I would. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not saying that
Yeah.
Georgia Tech's going to upset him. I think
I would-
Haynes King's a better quarterback.
DJ was better last year than Haynes King, don't you think? At Oregon State?
I would look. I mean, DJ's numbers are never going to blow you away.
Well, I bet they're better than Haynes King.
I mean,
So
Haynes threw 16 picks.
Yeah, Dunaway.
That's a
Haynes
lot of
King's
picks,
numbers:
man.
2,800 pass yards,
And only completed 61% of his
61%
passes.
of his passes, 27 touchdowns, 16 picks.
Ooh, that's a lot of picks.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
the
let
thing,
me-
yesterday-
Haynes can run it. I mean, that's you got a dual threat there.
Yesterday, somebody had 14, and we were like, "Ooh."
Oh, that was old school Josh Heupel, Heisman runner-up.
Yeah.
DJU, 2,600 pass yards, 21 touchdowns, 7 picks, 57%. They were a lot alike.
Yeah, 57% completion rate.
Yeah, but half the interceptions.
Yeah. Well, he couldn't throw it to anybody could catch it.
I mean, they were a lot alike. I don't know who the better one is. I don't know that I would go DJU over Haynes King. I think if those are my two options, I would hope I got a really good defense.
I do
I'm
think-
just saying, sneaky good game.
No, I
Sneaky
don't-
good game week 0.
I'm not one of these guys that believes that Florida State is back in the top 10. I think they're going to be good. I don't think they're going to be nearly as good as they were last year. We will see. I do think Georgia Tech, when you watch them in the second half of the season, really improved last year.
All right, I'm going to get a point. What's the point spread? Do you know? I'm going to go to
I'm gonna
mybookie.ag
say-
I would say
right
Florida
now.
State 11.5.
I was going to say 10.5.
It might be up to 13 though.
Oh, and you're calling sneaky good game on one that might be up to 13?
Brown,
Dunaway?
upsets.
That's how upsets happen.
Yeah, they're not pick'ems, and upsets. I mean, they're not pick'ems. They're not upsets. Then. Yeah.
Florida State is currently at mybookie.ag. Code next round when you sign on right there. You could play that game right now. Mybookie.ag. Florida State a 13-point favorite in Dublin.
Whoa.
Total of 55.5. 13-point favorite.
Not even a hook there. Just an even 13.
I think I would lean Tech and under.
That same day, SMU making their ACC debut a 25-point favorite at Nevada. SMU, where do you make your ACC debut?
Yeah.
Oh, we're playing in Reno.
Boy, they want us going everywhere.
Reno.
I'll take SMU right now on that.
Show being brought to you by friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. Before I get into our first big thing here today, a little sidetrack on just how sneaky good Georgia Tech, Florida State could be. Maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll be a blowout. It's been raining a lot. And if you've got a roof shingle that is loose, just one of them, you could have some water problems, an entry point that would slide in there. Storm Restoration Roofing can help you out. They're owned by our buddy Greg from Pell City, 20 years, locally owned, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. And here's a couple of things that makes Greg so much different than everyone else. First off, the trust he has with insurance agents in the area is going to help you so much on the front end and on the back end of any of your repairs or new roofs. He'll give you a free, absolutely free, no-cost roof inspection. He handles the storm repairs, the roof replacements, and everything. There's the number. It's his cell number, 205-542-3531, 542-3531. Or look him up on Facebook, Greg from Pell City, Greg Nelson, Storm Restoration Roofing. In the talking season, there's a discussion about where the group of 5 fits into the playoffs moving forward. And the old playoffs discussion about should the group of 5 have their own playoffs. The discussion is you don't want to give up that spot as long as you have it in the college football playoffs.
But
to have a group of 5, you don't know how long you're going to have that. I've got a solution.
okay.
We'll go to my dry erase board quickly. So let's say
Is this better than your recruiting solution?
Maybe.
Okay.
You mean the one I told Hugh Freeze about? That,
Yeah. And Hugh said that
flip,
is
flip day.
Yeah, I only wish it were that easy. Was Hugh Freeze's response, Lance?
Yeah.
He just kind of took a deep breath because I only wish it were that easy.
We told Lance that I told you that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So let's say the AAC is usually the team that gets that group of 5, best group of 5. So we'll say the AAC gets the 12-team playoff spot in the real college football playoffs.
Okay.
So my group of 5 playoff scenario would go like this. Sun Belt champion, Mountain West, whatever we're seeding, would play a game, and they'd move out. the MAC and the CUSA champion, winner moves out. So you'd have Sunbelt CUSA playing in a game, and the winner moves to the Group of 5 championship. And for the team that made the college football playoff and got beat whenever they got beat in the college football playoff, they're in the Group of 5 championship game because they were the best team and they had to go play the real college football playoff. And that seeding there gets you to a Group of 5 championship game between, in this situation, the AAC and the Sun Belt Conference for the Group of 5 national championship.
I don't hate it.
That's not a bad plan.
No, I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Yep.
Now, I mean, their drawback.
But how many more weeks are you playing?
Well, I mean, so you would play. That's the 2 championship games, right?
Right here. These are already. They've already crowned their champions in championship games.
So
that would be. These would be the equivalent of the quarterfinals.
Yep.
In the real playoffs. We got to get rid of calling it the real playoffs and not the real playoffs.
Yeah, for your plan to work.
This would be the semifinals, and that would be the national championship.
So the most you would play is 3 more games.
That's right. While the real college football playoffs, you could play 4. So they're playing the same number.
I got no problem with
and
this.
that would get some TV coverage. Absolutely.
I mean, if I am Group 5, I want to continue to play with the big boys.
You get that.
So you're talking about the Group 5 national champion gets to play in that?
No.
The other way around.
They go and play when they get beat, whether it's the first game, which we always expect, or the second round or the third round. They are in the championship.
Playing
game.
the last man standing.
These guys are playing. They're filling up our Wednesdays and Thursday nights.
I mean, maybe it still feels kind of bowlish.
Yeah, but I mean, what do you mean bowlish? Like
just
games.
like a bowl game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you watch those.
I was looking for the word bullish, that he liked the idea.
No,
but bullish.
bullish.
I see what we're saying.
I don't hate this idea, Dunaway. Where'd you come up with this? Did somebody else come up with this? You stole
Well,
it?
he tries to get here early. He's got to do something when he gets here.
No, I did. It was this morning when I was reading people debating. I forget which conference was debating it yesterday. They were debating, should we have a Group of 5 playoff? Should we not? And they wanted to keep that spot as long as they had it in the real playoffs.
Okay,
Again, we need a new name.
I've got the argument against. You ready for the argument against? Okay. The Group of 5 conferences are going to say, what if our team goes all the way?
No, they could.
So then what happens?
Then they have played their way into the national. Then
but what happens to this red game?
This becomes the Group of 5 national championship game at that point.
So, but you don't know that when it's played.
You don't.
So it's really, really hollow. But I mean, what are the chances they're going to get to the
championship? It's very, very, very low.
There's a chance an asteroid will hit any one of these stadiums on game day.
That is true.
We'll just have
mean, we've got volcanoes. Did you see Rockstar? That thing was it at Yosemite? Have you seen the video
Yosemite.
of that? Yosemite, where EG likes to go?
I have not.
Oh, my gosh. I'll send you the video. I mean, it's insanity.
So what happened?
One of the geysers just exploded.
with water or fire.
No, it was
one day that thing is going to go off.
Oh, yeah.
And
Well, I
that's
think
not going to be a pretty sight.
No, I think it was
that could be
Yellowstone.
the end of us.
Yeah,
No.
that's a lot of pressure.
Google it. I mean, I guarantee you the video's out there. I think it was Yellowstone, Rockstar. Just where is Old Faithful? Is that Yellowstone?
Yeah.
All right. I think it was wherever.
I never made it to that corner of Yellowstone when we went. We wanted to see it. It
Yeah.
looks pretty awesome.
They put it into a corner?
Well, it's not a
Well, I
corner.
think God put it there.
It's just, I mean, Yellowstone is massive. I forgot what the
There it
acreage
is.
is.
Yeah.
Hyperthermal explosion in Yellowstone National Park.
Well, see, and like I don't know that there was any warning on this, so I think like tourists are just Robin Roberts about to tell you about it here.
Yeah.
I think tourists were just out.
Josh
and
Bates on the scene too.
Jim Cantori.
All right, so watch this crap. I mean, this is just insanity. Like,
Courtesy of ABC News.
yeah, thanks ABC News. Probably get ding for this one. Like,
Commentary.
people, look at that. People are just out there looking around at this
I mean,
geyser.
if you're going to film it, have the ball stand still, right?
I'm not going
Well,
to.
here's
He at
my
least starts
question.
running
Would you
backwards.
even film that
No.
though?
Because it's scalding hot
Boom,
water,
look
right?
at that. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's scalding hot water,
Yeah.
right?
Look at all the kids and all. I mean, there are people out there by it.
Yeah, because you go out there, right?
Well,
and
yeah.
take your picture.
On the little boardwalk.
Yeah, I saw that documentary on that live volcano that all these people were going to and they got caught on the island. I don't know if you guys seen that. It's pretty amazing. It was not good.
I mean, just
Volcano Island?
yeah.
I forgot where it was.
Yeah. Sounds like a dating show on FX.
But imagine you're
Welcome
out.
to Volcano Island.
You're just
Something's
out there
gonna blow.
with. You're out there with the wife and kids.
Walked all over you. Walked all over you.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Go ahead.
You're out there with the wife and kids. Explodes. My line wasn't good.
The show is brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. You'll hear from UAB coach Trent Dilfer in just a second after he tells us about Michelson.
Yeah, make the phone call that I made over 2 decades ago. I had the 20/200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts, and Solution was wasting money each and every year on that. Called up 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy Toa. The Next Round sent you. Ask about the pre-inflation pricing. She will schedule you a hassle-free consultation. You have zero to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. 205-969-8100. Dr. Mort Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
Forrester tells me there's video out there of a whale sinking a boat. He says that. In the
I
Bible.
saw that.
Have y'all seen that one?
I didn't believe it was real.
Yeah.
No, he says it's scarier than the
Well,
guy.
I can't believe the people survived because it looked like the bow's the front of the boat, right? Is that right?
I thought that was the bow. The stern.
Stern is the back.
The stern's the back.
So they were both on the bow, and luckily the whale, it looked like there was actually 2 whales, hit the stern. And so then they go flipping. The boat like comes on top of them. But the 2 teenage boys that were actually videoing it were able to circle back around, which, boy, I mean, I got to give the balls on these kids to actually help out, because wouldn't your fear be that blue whale comes back out and lands on you?
No doubt.
But they go back and fish the 2 people out.
Yeah.
It was crazy video.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I didn't think it was real.
Can't believe that didn't make TikTok for me last night.
Oh, it did for me. That's where I saw it.
Dang.
Yeah, I don't know what your algorithm is right now, but mine was things in golf bags and this video that Forrester's about to show us. I didn't think it was real at first. I thought it was one of those
No, it's real.
CG.
Yeah.
Shows it.
Well,
doing
you
that.
have to doubt just about everything.
Here we go.
Okay.
And to
Oh
LT's
my
point,
gosh.
this boy jumps up on the wheel and he's like, "Okay, I'm going to get the heck out of
Well,
here."
he looks like a teenager.
But then
he is.
you tell me he circles back.
Yeah, they circle back and pick
Yeah.
up the 2 individuals that are actually in the
Because
water.
it looks like he drops the hammer and gets out of town.
Which would have been my normal instinct, like, okay, we need to get out of here, boys. But he circles back and saves them. That's in New Hampshire. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah, it's New Hampshire. You know, if they're in the back of the boat, they're dead.
Yep.
I hope they had insurance.
Yep. It does flip them off the front. Wow.
My gosh.
For this world. Yes. Sunday was the hottest day recorded in history on the planet.
Oh, yeah? Not here.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. It was very cool here.
Yeah.
It's quite nice here.
My
I thought it
pool's
was
jacked. First world problem.
I thought it was ironic that the hottest day ever recorded on Earth, it was very mild here in Alabama. So, all right. So here's Trent Dilfer. He's the head coach at UAB, for those of you watching around the country and not in our Birmingham market here. Former Super Bowl winning quarterback last year, his first year at UAB as the head coach. He was 4-8, and he got asked about 4-8 and trying to improve this year. Here's Trent.
Excited to be back. You know, in my life as an NFL quarterback, 4-8 usually gets you fired. Somehow they held on to me. So it was a tough year, humbling, which is a good thing. I think anytime you go through really low valleys and you embrace it and you own it, you can learn a lot from it. I did, our players did.
So many new players again this year, which you have to do at UAB's position in the football place, because good players get plucked. And he came in, and I think he's trying to change that roster a little bit more to his liking. Offensive line's good. Got a great quarterback coming back. Trent Dilfer doesn't want to be 4-8. He was a successful high school coach that probably didn't lose 8 games his entire time in Nashville.
No, I think he was 44-10 as a high school coach. And I think for Trent Dilfer, I think year 2 is really, really important. You know, you look at the 8 losses last year. Now, the 1 win was against South Florida in a blowout, which was a really good win early in the season. But 7 of those 8 wins, they got dusted. I mean, not even close. And you start to look at the schedule, you know, I don't know what to think. You know, you've got Alcorn State, that's a win. You got to go to La Monroe. You got to go to Arkansas. And then conference schedule opens up with Navy, Tulane, at Army, at South Florida.
Yeah.
They've got to go to Memphis this year.
Navy's like the only guaranteed win in there.
I think they would be lucky to get bowl eligible, but I think bowl eligibility 6-6 in year 2 would be a step in the right direction. But if they're 4-8 again, then I think you're going to start to get some rumblings. You know, is Trent Dilfer really a college coach?
Because there were questions, Brownie, about him being a high school coach. Was he ready to be a head coach at this level?
Yeah, defense is what they got to fix. I mean, I think their offense was probably good enough last year to be an 8-4 team. What do you think?
Probably. I don't know what I would guess their points per game were probably like 28 points per game.
I looked yesterday, the other day, I think it's 29, something like that. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but their defense just...
Yeah, I mean, they gave up 49, 41, 49, 35, 35, 41, 45,
Yeah.
42, 31, 45. I mean, yeah.
Ironically, as UAB with 3 letters, that was a lot like USC and LSU.
Yeah, they've got to get better.
For all the initial teams, they couldn't play defense last year.
I mean, let me ask you guys, as a UAB fan, like, you know, there were no expectations till Bill Clark got there, but once Bill Clark built this into what he did and responsible really for rising the Phoenix out of the ashes, when you're in a league with teams like Charlotte and East Carolina and Florida Atlantic and even Memphis, who used to be your big rival, like if I'm a UAB fan with the resources, I think we should be really, really competitive.
Top quarter. I want to be top quarter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bowl eligibility at least every year. They had gone 7 straight years of being bowl eligible. Last year was the first time not to be bowl eligible, and UAB will try to resaddle and do it again. A lot more college football to talk about. Our buddy Marty Smith is scheduled to be with us next segment. We'll talk to the Marty Party. And Jacob Hester joins us to start hour number 2 at 10 Central as we roll on. The show being brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher Shop. Always a great place for food, sandwiches, to-go items, and a great cut of meat.
Yeah, again, did the smash burgers.
Again last night?
No, not again last night. I could have done them last night.
We were about to do an intervention if you did them 6 nights in a row.
No, tortilla soup last night. Ooh. But the New York Butcher Shop, man, when you're looking for great steaks, those smash burgers, incredible chicken, chef-prepared entrees, side dishes like those baked beans, perfect dinner-to-go choice for you and your family. Don't forget about the huge deli sandwiches and catering options for your next business lunch with a great selection of fine wines and desserts. New York Butcher Shop, one-stop dinner shop, 2 locations, Cabo Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at ryanbrownlive.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, equal housing lender.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or Michelson. LaserVision.com.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
We're about to talk barbecue and life with a good friend of ours. I want to remind all you guys as you get older, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, it doesn't matter. You want to stay on top of your health. That's where our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama comes in. UCA with over 35 urologists on hand, 16 locations across Alabama, treating all your urological needs from prostate health to kidney stones, everything in between. Visit urologycentersalabama.com to schedule your appointment today.
So one of the drawbacks to SEC Media Days is a lot of our friends are there, but we don't get to spend a ton of time with them. Marty and Ryan McGee were in their suite. We were in our suite. They were separated. We barely even got to see Marty until Terry Black's barbecue. How good was that?
Lived up to the hype. Good morning, gentlemen. Always nice to fellowship with you. Terry Black's was just tremendous. What I did not expect, and I'm sure Dunaway has chronicled with great detail his beef rib experience. I took producer Randy with me. Randy was the Marty and McGee producer for years. He is now the lead producer for SEC Nation. He upgraded. He got a promotion. He now works with Laura Rutledge and Tim Tebow and Jordan Rogers and Roman Harper and not McGee and me. So I took Josh Maxson.
Yep.
The great Alabama administrator. I'll give him that title. I could give him many other titles. And I took producer Randy. Well, I told the boys I would buy. What I did not expect was for producer Randy to be coaxed into the 1.5-pound beef rib.
Yep.
Which, as I'm watching the tally on the screen escalate with each passing beep of cold beer, coleslaw, macaroni and cheese, beef rib, it goes from like $32.50, $38.60, $152.
Yep.
Randy's rib was like $58 or $59.
Yeah.
Mine was 57. And they had to get a credit report before I paid for it.
Jeez, you get an 8-ounce filet in Dallas for almost that price.
This is the same place I went in Austin. This was the Dallas version, but where I spent $152 or $158 on my family. And Marty was like, well, at least you fed your whole family.
That's true.
Randy didn't even, the thing that made me angry was it's a little bit like being a father. If your kids eat all the stuff that they buy, you don't have a whole lot of, you really can't be terribly critical.
That's right.
But my third son, Randy, he didn't eat. He barely touched that thing. He's like, "Oh, I'm so full."
Yeah.
Like, man, you could feed 10 people with that thing.
Yeah. Well, we wrote mine off because we used it for social media for little
T tax write-off.
You got
that's
it out
a
on
veteran
TikTok.
move, though. That's somebody who's been in that's a man in the arena. You've been in the arena before, Dunaway. Now, I will tell you that mine was also expensed. The best part of the experience, though, so I got the brisket sandwich, which was just off the chain how delicious it was.
So good.
But after a couple bites, I had to 86 the bread because I knew I wouldn't get through the brisket if I kept eating the bread. So I just moved the bread to the side and went straight brisket. But did you have the corn? Did y'all get the corn?
I didn't get the corn, no.
Dude.
I've found macaroni and cheese late in life now. I didn't do macaroni and cheese until now, and I love the mac and cheese. I did not do the corn.
What, was corn on the cob or was it street style?
No, LT. It was in a bucket, a little canister deal, and it was creamed corn, but it had this super sweet finish to it that almost had a butterscotchish kind of thing going on.
That sounds phenomenal.
It was a very unique experience and scared the hell out of me, if I'm being honest with you, because I said, my God, if they can make corn taste like this, what's their apple pie going to taste like?
Hey, let me ask you this. We were talking about Ryan Day yesterday, and you spent some time with Ryan Day.
Love that man.
Okay, well, this dude is 56-8, and we broke down his 8 losses, and they're all like quality losses. And we've gotten to a point in society where it used to be what the record was against top 25, and then what the record was against top 10. And then I saw yesterday Ryan Day is 1-6 against top 5 teams. So we're shrinking it down. But I've seen pictures of Ryan Day where he didn't have bags under his eyes. He is so stressed out. And I don't know if you agree with this, but if this team was to go 10-2 to lose to Michigan, Michigan goes 10-2 and wins the Big Ten, I don't know what the future is for Ryan Day. I think he's a hell of a coach, but I've never seen somebody with this much success be in a corner that he is in.
Got to beat Michigan. You got to beat Michigan. I would venture to say that beating Michigan this season is more important for him in the overall scope of the perspective of the Ohio State fan base than winning the Natty. I think both of them are very important. If you look at the roster they've assembled, it's ridiculous. Their NIL numbers are as high as anything in the country, and they've assembled just so that it's a pro roster. A lot of guys came back, chose against entering the draft for multiple reasons, but one of them's money. And so, look, that quality losses, I don't even know that, in Columbus, Ohio, I don't know that applies. I think that applies in a lot of places, but I just don't know that it applies there because the expectation is beat Michigan, win the league, and at least contend for the Natty. And especially this year, Lance, especially this year, because it is all chips, man. It is all chips. They got so much talent at every position, so much depth at every position. Will Howard is arguably the most important player. Like, his performance might be the most important in the country for the overall prospects of that team this year. And you bring in Chip Kelly, a guy that Ryan Day not only admires, but I think he said at Big Ten, I trust him with my life. Guy knows offense at a very high level. Those two mesh very well. They've known each other forever and ever, amen. But it's now. The time is now for the Buckeyes. And I think if you just look at it on paper, most people expect them, okay, they'll beat Michigan this year. Will they? Who knows?
Now that I'm so sorry.
No. It's just it's a vital year where the winning is the only thing.
Now that Nick Saban's your colleague, you had a chance.
Weird.
You had a chance to spend some time with Kalen DeBoer. History of college football is riddled with guys who follow legends, and it doesn't work out. Why does this feel different for Kalen DeBoer?
It feels real different to me. But I asked him. That was the first thing I asked him when he sat down with Ryan and me. Was that you never want to be the man who follows the man. What comes with that we can't see? And the first thing that you have to do is you have to go in and establish your culture. You have to go in and say, this is my program. This is how we're going to do it. All that guy did was win. He's the greatest of all time. Great. But it's my team now. It's my program now. And you guys know you're right in that. You're around that all the time. Talking to friends of mine who worked under Saban and are now still in DeBoer's program, the energy walking in the door every day could not possibly be different, more different. And it's just a different day. And what I can't wait to see is how does that staff continue to develop Jalen Milroe? Because I don't think Tommy Rees and his guys get enough credit for it. I think they did a freaking fantastic job last year developing a young man that got benched, watched a game against South Florida, and then came back and, this is my opinion, was a completely different player. You watch the Texas A&M game, he was throwing guys open in that game and then continued to use his legs to diagnose as the season went on. And what DeBoer and his guys do is they develop guys. They develop that position very well. So I look forward to seeing that maturation and evolution of Milroe in that role. Yeah, it's a very different energy, man. And, talking to that guy, he doesn't seem urgent. His intensity is, I mean, it's not to say he's not intense because that's not accurate, but it's a very different brand of intensity than they knew for 15 or 16 years with Coach.
Marty Smith is with us from ESPN, at Marty Smith ESPN on Twitter. He's on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Speaking of your colleague Nick Saban, did you and Ryan, you did like a state of college football or future of college football deal with he and Greg Sankey, right? Am I correct on that?
We did, yes, sir. That's going to air August 19th.
Okay.
On SEC Network, a 30-minute program. And I would argue there's no more I could argue that those are the foremost experts on everything that's going on right now in college sports, because Coach Saban lived it at the head coach, CEO level within a program that has the highest expectations. And Sankey, in my estimation, is the best leader in college sports, and it could be argued the best in sports. I mean, a guy just seems like he's playing chess all the time. He's very deliberate, very intentional, and very measured in the way that he leads. And I would love to hear y'all's perspective on this. I have yet to see a misstep. All the way back to COVID. Let's just go back the last 4 or 5 years. Other people said we're not playing. Kevin Warren, we're not playing. The Pac-12, we're not playing. Sankey said, I'm taking my time. Ultimately, we're playing. And then everybody else went, oh, bleep, they're playing. They're going to make all this money. They're going to name a national champion. We better play. And it's just continued throughout all of this evolution and transformation, whether that's conference realignment. He was at the forefront of that. Whether that is all that's coming right now in Washington, he's at the forefront of that. And so, yeah, we sat down with those two. It was a fascinating conversation for both of us. I think in retrospect, I think if you asked both of them, they wish they'd sort of gone back and forth with one another a little more. Certainly McGee and I would have loved that, but they're really just getting to know one another in that way too. So ultimately, I think it will be very educational, at times really funny, for the viewer base, for the consumer base. We loved it.
Marty, I know most people know, but for those that don't, you grew up going to Lane Stadium with your father, big Virginia Tech Hokie fan, and Brent Pry, year 1, 3-8. They start 2-4 last year, and they finish so strong. And I'm really high on the Hokies. 20 returning starters. They've got their punter, their kicker coming back. Most experienced team in college football coming back, at least on paper. Brent Pry said yesterday at ACC Media Days, if we don't make the ACC championship game, it will be a disappointment. I think they're going to be really good. Where are you on the Hokies this year?
Well, with all that talent coming back, I'm very high on them, and he has done such a fantastic job of reestablishing. It's one of those programs. That's what's beautiful about college football, college athletics in general, but college football. Each university has its own culture, its own tradition, its own expectation of how we're going to project ourselves, right? And man, has he reinstilled exactly what that is in Blacksburg, Virginia. Now, I appreciate his optimism. It's going to be damn hard to do that. Really hard. They're going to have to, I saw what he said yesterday, LTs. They are going to have to coach their ass off. That's what he said. But they have a really good young quarterback. They have great pieces coming back. To your point, they have a lot of talent coming back as starters, but do they have the depth? You don't just have to have the first wave now in college football. You have to have the second too. And they're still building that depth. So, my gosh, I hope he's right. I hope they're playing for an ACC championship. That would be wonderful this quickly. I mean, I was wondering last year at this time, would they ever get back to the glory days? Like, would they ever? In this college football where you're looking at FSU, who has so much talent. You're looking at Clemson, who has so much talent, but certainly could be argued has underachieved the last couple of years. And there's some other teams in that conference who are pretty good. But, man, I hope he's right. Not going to be easy, but I think the pieces are there to be in the argument.
Chiefs Second and Broadway T-shirt on. Talking with Hugh Freeze at SEC Media Days, Eric Church has given that coach so much confidence. He was telling me some stories along the way of he and Church, as he calls him, Church, just the different points where he sort of lifted Hugh up. What do you expect from Hugh year 2 down at Auburn?
I have high expectations. He's a great football coach. You guys have probably asked him this, and I just look at it as a gift from above that this happened to hit me. It was not in my notes. I did not prepare it in our sit down with Coach Freeze, but it hit me as he was talking because I went back-to-back questions, which Ryan and I try very hard to have respect and deference for one another. Let's go back and forth. You guys probably battle this too at times. You ask a question of a guest, instantly another one enters your mind. You want to jump right in and ask that follow-up. McGee and I try very hard to be respectful of one another and let that happen. But with Coach Freeze, I kind of jumped in because they hit me back-to-back. First of all, what is the lasting impact on your life from 4th and 31? Can't wait for y'all to hear that answer. You probably asked him that. Y'all have talked to him way more than I have.
He told us it wasn't even the worst loss he's ever had.
It wasn't in the top 3.
Yeah, he started reeling off all these heartbreaking losses he's had.
Yep. All right. So then I wondered, now that Nick Saban is retired and you can speak freely without fear of it coming back to you in any kind of locker room material, etc. Coach Freeze is one of the few guys that actually understood how to consistently beat him, how to consistently be competitive and beat Nick Saban. What was the secret?
Interesting.
And so I love having those kinds of conversations. I'm not giving away what he said, but I love having those kinds of conversations because if you look at it, there just haven't been that many. And whether it was back at Ole Miss, he had the opportunity to do it last fall and fell victim to Gravedigger. And that's honestly, like he will tell you, like that's coaching. But it's also seeing tendencies within players. It's seeing tendencies within defensive strategies that you sort of just let slide a little bit, and then it beats you that way. And so, like, I just think the guy's a great football coach. I mean, Auburn's fortunate to get him. I have high expectations for him in a very hard league. Schedule looks like hell on paper, but, like, I'm sorry. I was asked by somebody else in an interview recently with the college football playoff and now doing away with divisions, do we have to rewrite what success is? What a successful season is? Yeah. Because like two teams will make it to the SEC championship. You can look at Vegas now. If you have 12 teams, I think it's fair to say that the SEC could look at 33% of that, potentially.
Yeah.
Well, what if you're not one of those teams and you're 5th on that board, but you win 9 games or something and go to a big-time bowl? Like, is that a failure?
It's like the old school tie, Marty, before we had overtime.
Yeah. Was a tie a win or a loss? It was
kissing your sister, right?
Kissing your sister is what my dad always said.
Could be like winning the NIT, Marty.
Yeah, nobody wants to win the NIT.
Hey, before we let you roll, you interviewed all these coaches. I said at Media Days, to me, out of the 16, the most charismatic is Hugh Freeze. If you had to take the best personality out of the 16, who would it be for you?
I think Drinkwitz is hysterical. I mean, he just makes me laugh my ass off all the time. And he has this way of dropping little digs that if you're not really on your A game, if you had a margarita or two too many, as I did last evening, you might not have the mental clarity to pick up on what he's really saying.
So he's an intelligent Lane Kiffin.
Well, I think Lane Kiffin's intelligent. I think he's really intelligent. My favorite interview from Media Days was Lane Kiffin because he openly told – I said to him, look, I know you have a wonderful football team coming back. The expectations are very high and should be, but I care far less about that and far more about what I believe college football to be in its fabric, and that's fathers and sons and the generational impact of the experience of Saturday afternoons in the fall. And he looked at me, and because my question was, how do you even begin to envelop and describe and articulate your dad's influence on your life as man and professional and person? And he said he didn't want to really talk about it. Well, then he started talking about it. And then he really started talking about it. And by the end of the conversation, he had genuinely had tears in his eyes and looked at us and said, I did not intend to have this conversation today, but I will be honest with you, it was therapeutic. Thank you. And I've said a lot on this show and elsewhere that, when you lose your dad as a man, especially like a guy like that who watched the impact that his father had on so many people with a completely different personality than he has, you are reminded of the responsibility of the role. And it really crystallizes the daily walk that you have and the steps in the journey that you're taking and how precious it is, but also that responsibility is large. There's a lot of parents and there's a lot of mentors who have entrusted your wisdom, entrusted their children within that ecosystem. And so I just love that kind of conversation. And yeah, I really enjoy talking to that guy all the time. Whether he's trying to be funny or I was telling the story, one of the weirdest moments I've ever had was I went down there to do an interview with Jackson Dart in Oxford last year. And Lane found out I was in town. He's like, hey, come down here and see me. I walk into his office after I got done with Dart. And Lane's like in some swimming trunks, shirtless, with a towel around his neck, getting ready to go to some hot yoga class. I was like, man, I picked the wrong time to walk into your office, son.
I bet Woody Hayes never did hot yoga.
No. Woody Hayes wasn't in his skivvies getting ready to go do some downward dog.
Marty, it is always fun. We appreciate the time, my man.
Love you, boys. I appreciate you. Beware of that beef rib, man. It'll get you in the belly and a wallet.
3 easy payments, though. 3 easy payments.
See you, brother. Love you. Take care.
See you, boys. Love y'all.
That is Marty Smith, ESPN, on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Jacob Hester talks more college football with us in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, Johnston RV bringing us part of the show today.
They do. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 indicator is where you find them. They have repriced both those lots. They're so confident the pricing's amazing. They will beat any price nationwide. That is their guarantee. Bring them a price on a comparable RV, they'll beat it. Like us on this show, they love the United States military. Whether you are a retired veteran, you're active duty, they give you a great discount as a very small way of saying thank you. See more, JohnstonRVCenter.com, I-65, 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, and always online, JohnstonRVCenter.com.
And the show always brought to you by our friends at the Woodhouse Day Spa, located right there at the Summit Shopping Centers, right off of Highway 280. Choose from a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. Order that special person gift online 24/7, birmingham.woodhousespas.com.
Paul Skeen's first loss last night.
Well, that was going to happen at some point.
I know.
2-1.
Yeah, but that's your point, LT. 2-1. He still gets 8 strikeouts. He pitches 8 in a third inning. Only allows 2 runs. Only allows 4 hits. That's his first loss.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I mean, the guy is lights out.
Yeah, so good right now. Braves postponed. They get 2 today, starting at 11:20 Central Time. More from the Pennant Grace coming up on that in tomorrow's live show at 12:15 with EG and Ush. A lot more college football as we roll on today. Some NFL news, some holdouts, some impact as all the camps that open now in the National Football League. We roll on, as Brownie said, Jacob Hester and more college football at the top of the hour right here on TNR.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
Are
Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trustful. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Bright Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Talk a little National Football League here for a second before we get back to college football. LT's about to tell you about Lanya's Furniture. As he gets ready to do that, another Stallion signed a contract yesterday. Kevin Austin Jr., the wide receiver for the UFL champions, 3-time spring champion Stallions, signed with the Saints. He's going to try to make that roster down there. Lanyas always has a great roster of furniture items.
I was talking to our friend Jon Lunceford last night, and he is actually going to come see us next Monday. He's going to come up to the studio, get a tour around. But I want to remind you, our friends at Lanya's Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Lanya's offering a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, entertainment, and mattresses. Lanya's can also help you with your home design and decorating. Transform your home into a beautiful escape with new furniture and decor pieces, from vibrant outdoor furniture to breezy home accents. Lanya's has everything you need to create your own sunshine sanctuary. Bring the sun inside with Lanya's Furniture. Save up to 10% off store-wide or special financing, plus tons of hot buys throughout the store. Just a short little jaunt over to Warrior to see our friends at Lanya's. From Birmingham, take exit 280 off of I-65. It's the Hallmark Farms exit. Go south, U.S. Highway 31 for 1.3 miles. It's going to be right there on your right. Go see Reggie, John. Tell them the Next Round sent you.
All right, so in the National Football League, I didn't know this until I was reading some camp notes. Hollywood Brown is he's a new Chiefs receiver. If you had to grade Hollywood Brown from his NFL days in Baltimore so far, what is he? He hasn't really been what he was in college.
No, very average.
I think, was it his first game when
some big plays,
the Dolphins up? I remember watching, I think it was his first game, and I remember thinking, this guy's going to be incredible. He and Lamar Jackson just lit them up. But I guess after that, you'd give him a B or a C?
I would probably give Hollywood a C.
Jace with a funny line, mybookie.ag, Hollywood playing more like Bollywood, am I right? Little Hollywood cinema.
I mean, just to
references
give
there.
you the numbers. I mean, he had 1,000 yards one time in 5 seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, 1,000 yards is a good bar, but that one season, his final season in Baltimore, 91 grabs, 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. I mean, maybe a B-, more of a C.
CeeDee Lamb not in camp.
Now he's
an
A.
A+.
He's holding out 1,749 receiving yards last year. He's scheduled to make $18 million this year in his 5th-year option year. He wants a long-term contract because other receivers like him are making double that, $35-36 million. So he's in a holdout mode. Ayuk, who wants to be traded, he's got one more year on that deal. He is in camp. Matt Stafford in camp apparently has worked out some restructuring, some guaranteed money for the Rams.
Well, so Stafford had such a good second half of last year. You know, he gets hurt in the Dallas game. They get blown out. And when he came back in the final 8 games of the season, including that wild card loss to the Lions, he was 6-2, 18 touchdowns, only 4 picks. He's 36 years old. I think there's still a lot of meat on the bone. I didn't realize, I'm not going to say contentious, because watching Sean McVay in that press conference yesterday, you know, he sat down with Les Snead. Jimmy Sexton was on the phone call, who now represents Stafford, which I thought was interesting. I didn't realize that. I knew Sexton represented Aaron Donald when he was on the Rams. But said there was a lot of great dialogue, and now they've got him locked in, and they just kind of – the problem was – he didn't have any guaranteed money on his last 2 years of the contract. I think $15 million was guaranteed next year, but in 26 there was nothing guaranteed. So he wanted guaranteed money. I don't know what they gave him. Terms weren't disclosed. But this is good news if you're a Rams fan, because I still believe overall the best quarterback when healthy in the NFC is Matt Stafford.
One more NFL conversation point before we get back to Jacob Hester. The show being brought to you in part today by our friends at Odie's. Odie's Fest happening this weekend.
Yeah, Odie's Fest coming up on Saturday starting at 6 o'clock. It's going to be outdoors, 2 bands for you right there. And then at 10 o'clock, they'll bring it indoors for a 3rd band. How about this? 35th anniversary they're celebrating. It is absolutely free. VIP tickets are available at odiesfest.com. But Rockstar, it is Wednesday. What does that mean?
Oh, that means it is 100% a time to celebrate food, fun, and fellowship with trivia.
Yeah, feels like it's been forever since I've been to Odie's Team Trivia, but tonight, 8 o'clock, that's in the Crestline location, the original. Come join us, get there early, enjoy some of that great food from Rodney Davis. 2 locations now, the newest in Edgewood. The Crestline location will be at that one tonight. Also, Odie's Fest at that one on Saturday at 6 o'clock.
Okay, so none, one, or both of these guys, I got 2 pairings here, make the playoffs. None of these 2, one of these 2, or both of these make the playoffs.
All right.
Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers this year, both coming off some injury.
I will say both.
I will say both.
I will say both.
All right.
Rookies, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels. None, 1 or 2.
I would say neither.
I will say neither as well. I think Washington is interesting to watch now that you've got Brian Johnson as your quarterback's coach, who was really well-respected, the former Utah quarterback that beat Alabama in that 2007 Sugar Bowl with Jalen Hurts a couple of years ago. And then when he took over the OC duties, when Steichen got the Indianapolis job, people thought the play calling was boring, so he kind of got pushed out. Now he's the quarterback's coach, but Cliff Kingsbury's running that offense with Jaden Daniels. That could be an interesting offense, but I'll say neither.
Double the wins. Bryce Young this year with the Panthers, with Dave Canales now as his coach. Did a wonderful job calling plays with better receivers in Baker Mayfield in Tampa.
Double the wins?
Double the wins. I mean, I think they had 2, right?
Yeah, I was about to say, it's a very low bar. I'll say they double.
I think they will double the wins.
Yeah.
This is going to be a really, really tell-all season, I think, for Bryce Young. And I don't think that they've got everything around him yet, but he has got to make some progressions in year 2.
All right, we'll hear from Jacob Hester when we come back. The show being brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill. Hemp Hill's out working at somebody's house today.
They will be this afternoon. Main unit wouldn't kick on last night. Bad timing for that.
Man, we've all been through it before, but if that happens to you, make sure you call the best. The name Birmingham has trusted since 1954. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling issues, whether it's your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there, 205-229-2090. Tell them the next round sent you. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you, 969-8100 or Michelson. LaserVision.com.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Jacob Hester, so nice with his time when we were at SEC Media Days. We were about to talk to him. I bugged him. I felt like one day every commercial break that he and T-Bob were on out there. He's about to educate us on what he knows about college football. The folks at Urology Centers of Alabama want to remind you to stay on top of all your health needs. UCA, 35 urologists on hand, 16 locations across Alabama, treating all your urological needs from prostate health to kidney stones. They'll take care of you. Visit urologycentersalabama.com to schedule an appointment today.
All right, Jacob Hester, LSU great. I've gotten addicted to TikTok somehow, Hester. And I know I'm too old for it. I am too old for it. But I was on there the other day, and I get a lot of golf, a lot of food, and a lot of college football. That's the algorithm they serve me up. Yeah. And the game they served me up was that game that primetime game you guys played against Florida. And you score the game-winning touchdown at Tiger Stadium. And then you're laying on the field like you can't get up. And they cut away to the final play, which is like a batted down Hail Mary. What happened to you? I know you lived, thank God. But what happened to you with that play? Do you remember that play?
Oh, absolutely. I do. That was an electric environment in Death Valley. But it's third down and I score, but immediately I go to snap my chin strap. And at that point in the season, Tiger Stadium at the time, they had to put a lot of sand in the field to try to make it, last throughout the season. And I went to do my chin strap and it wouldn't go. And I immediately thought, I'm on the extra point team. Right. And so, like, I don't want us to have to burn a timeout, and we're trying to sub a guy in and out. And all of a sudden, we miss the extra point, and who knows, Tebow's on the other sideline. And so it won't go. And I'm like, first initial thing, because Les Miles used to teach us this, I'm like, grab your knee, act like you're hurt. So I'm just sitting there, just, acting like I'm in pain, looking at the referee, like I need somebody to come out here. And it was really all because my chin strap would not buckle. And so I was trying to do my best acting on the field there. It worked. We didn't have to use a timeout. Yep. The trainers came out. I kind of whispered it into Jack Marucci, the head trainer's ear. He, has a good laugh. And he's like, oh, you just wanted a curtain call. You just wanted to walk off with the trainer, have, the entire south portion of the stadium chant your name. I'm like, no. I was doing what the coach told me to do. And so, I was not hurt. It was just a bad acting job by me.
No, it baited me in. I thought, God, Hester, he gave his all for the Tigers.
A little Kellen Winslow. Carry me off.
Hester giving his all for the Tigers at Tiger Stadium.
Hester, I never thought we would live to see a day where Ole Miss, most people thought Ole Miss was going to have a better year than LSU. And LSU actually, it was a great game last year, track meet, but LSU actually host Ole Miss this year. And if I'm an LSU fan, I believe I've got a much better coach in Brian Kelly. I've got the brand. What is the expectation? Because it doesn't seem like the national perception is LSU should be in the college football playoff. But my perception is, I know you just lost the Heisman Trophy winner, but it's still year 3, and there's still a lot of talent. And if Ole Miss is supposed to be there, if I'm an LSU fan, I believe LSU should be in that 12-team playoff.
Yeah, when you talk to LSU fans, they're kind of in the same belief as, I think Ole Miss is going to be good, but you're LSU. Ole Miss should never come into your stadium and be a favorite. Like, you should always expect to win that game. Now, I'll say this. I'm a big believer in Ole Miss, and I was reluctant to give myself over to Ole Miss, but leading into media days and then after media days, I walked away highly impressed with Lane Kiffin and the 3 players that they brought to Dallas. But I think LSU is in a position where they should make a 12-team playoff. Like, that should absolutely be the expectation with this team. Now, are they going to finish in the top 4? I don't have them there. No, but I believe they will make a 12-team playoff, and that's kind of the bare minimum. We talked about it last time that I was on the show. Like, that is what LSU fans expect. That's what Brian Kelly expects. That's what everyone should expect from this team. And so there's games on the schedule that are going to be toss-ups. There's going to be 4 games on LSU's schedule that are going to decide if they make the playoff, and Ole Miss at home is going to be one of those. Now, I don't think it's the most important game. The most important game is the first game in Las Vegas against USC. You know why? Because LSU's lost 4 straight openers, and they have had to just scratch and claw and fight to get to 10 wins the last 2 seasons. Just imagine if they won one of the openers. And remember, 2 years ago, you get a couple of kicks blocked, you muff 2 punts, you tried to lose that game. In fact, you said, here, Florida State, please take this game. And they did. And then last year, it got away from you in the fourth quarter. But starting behind the 8 ball like that, playing in the SEC, you almost have to win all your non-conference games. And so that game is important. But for LSU, if they don't win the opener, then it's a completely different conversation about 12-team playoff.
Fun Sunday night. I'm interested, after talking to all the coaches and players out there, don't you feel that's where we are now, that I would go 10 deep this year? The fan base, the coaches, the players think they should be in the playoffs, and it's almost like the NCAA basketball tournament. Either we're in it or we're not in it. It's a successful season or not a successful season.
It's a great question. Like, how many true SEC fan bases believe that their team should be in the playoff every single year? And if we went back in the last 10 years, there wouldn't be a lot of teams that would make it every single year, like your Alabamas and your Georgias. But if you went back, I mean, there's a lot of times LSU wouldn't have made it. Now, LSU, the last, 25 years, they've got the second most national championships behind Alabama, but they would have made it about half the time. So it's not as easy as we're making it sound. It's still going to be difficult. Now,
of course, Brent Venables, Oklahoma would have made it every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. They would have made it probably just a year ago. And so it's going to be a situation where there's going to be a lot of disappointed fan bases, like the Florida Gators. Like, Florida right now is a program that still thinks they should make a 12-team playoff. And 3 of the 4 years under Dan Mullen, they would have made that 12-team playoff. They went to New Year's Six bowl games 3 years. And then, now, even with Billy Napier barely making a bowl game 1 year, not making it the next, I bet that fan base still thinks that they should make a 12-team playoff more times than not. And so it's going to change the expectation. It's going to change kind of some head coaching futures if you don't make that 12-team playoff. And I would look at LSU. I would look at Auburn, certainly Georgia, Alabama. I would look at Texas. Like those 5 off the top of my head are going to think that they should make it every single year. And, a team like Auburn, I don't think they're close to that right now, but that doesn't change the fan base expectation.
Jacob Hester is with us at Jacob Hester 18 on Twitter. You're a college football great. You spilled it all the blood for LSU, so you've played the game. You talk about it now with T-Bob every morning, and then you do it again on Sirius XM. So you're a college football guy, as good as you were in the NFL. You're a college football guy. The Rose Bowl yesterday, reports are, has informed the college football playoff. We don't ever want to be part of the semifinals or finals. You just keep us a permanent quarterfinal. We want to keep our January 1 date. That's it. That's all we ever want is January 1. Never elevate us above that.
Yeah.
Do you care? Is that sad to you as a football fan? I mean, how do you feel about that?
Oh, man, it's a little bit of me. It's like, okay, well, I can appreciate like this is what you've always been. And so many things in college athletics are changing, right? That I can appreciate you saying, no, we want to kind of do what we've always done. There is a portion of that I can appreciate, but also, man, there's so many people across this country that play college football that would absolutely love to play in that stadium. I mean, ESPN just did the top stadiums in college football. I believe the Rose Bowl came in at number 2, only behind Death Valley. So, I mean, it is a mecca of college football. Look, I've seen a national championship in that venue. I've seen a soccer game in that venue. I've seen a concert. I've seen everything in the Rose Bowl. And every time you walk in there, you get the same feeling. And I wish that they would move off of that just a little bit, because I think a national championship game, like just imagine a national championship game between 2 massive brands that never really play in that stadium, and it's in the Rose Bowl. I went to a Texas-Alabama national championship game there, and it's the most goosebumps I've ever gotten from a stadium where I wasn't like a player or wasn't like involved, with a desire like to who wins the game or not. It was incredible. I mean, 2 massive brands in the Rose Bowl. Like, it is just the stadium that is unlike any other. So, like, for me, like even last year, Alabama and Michigan, like those 2 logos being in that stadium at the same time, it just felt right. Like, it felt like the peak of college football. So I can appreciate them wanting to hold on to what they've always had. But come on, man, put some out there for the rest of us that want to see, Texas versus Ohio State in a Rose Bowl in a national championship game.
Which quarterback in this league are you the most excited about seeing? And if they play lights out, their team could be sneaky good and get into a college football playoff?
Gosh, we've seen so much of him, but I think it's Jackson Dart. Like, I want to see him year number 3. He decided to come back, and all of his weapons decided to come back. So I want to see what level Jackson Dart can get to, because I think when you start talking about the pecking order of quarterbacks, and we all just talked it in Dallas, it's like, okay, well, Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers, and then you start to have the conversation of other quarterbacks. I'm like, hold up. Like, why are we putting Jackson Dart underneath Quinn Ewers? Like, Quinn's really good, but look at what Jackson Dart did a year ago, and I think that's going to go up. Like, think about his weapons that he has. And one of them, Trey Harris was at media days. But think about the conversations we had about Juice Wells at South Carolina and who he was and who he was going to be. And he gets hurt, so everybody kind of forgets about him. He might be the 4th receiving option in Oxford this year. That doesn't mean he's lost a step. That's just how good the weapons are for Jackson Dart. I think he can play himself into the Heisman Trophy conversation. I think he can play himself into maybe an SEC championship game appearance. Like, that's the kind of expectation I have for Jackson Dart this year. He's been good. I expect him to go to great this year number 3 with Lane Kiffin.
A bigger gap between talent of Oklahoma and Texas this year, or hours slept per night in Dallas, T-Bob and you? Which is the bigger gap?
Oh, man, I don't think Oklahoma and Texas are that far away. So I guess, T-Bob, gosh, he likes to say, if you want to hoot with the Owls, you got to soar with the Eagles in the morning. And so I think he gets that done at an elite level. So I don't know how much he actually slept. But the talent gap between Oklahoma and Texas is not that big.
Yeah.
Oklahoma won 10 games last year and beat Texas. I was at the game. I was on the goal line when Oklahoma scored. They went and took that game from Texas. Texas did not give that to them. and they, had a couple of games that you're like scratching your head. How did they lose? Now, Arizona, who I think is a really good team, Noah Fafita is one of the best quarterbacks nobody talks about, and they beat them in a bowl game. And it's like, oh, well, they're not any good. It's like, wait a minute. They won 10 games. They beat Texas. They return a lot of that team. Now, Dylan Gabriel's in Eugene and not Norman. That's a big deal. But Jackson Arnold's a 5-star guy, right? If we want to put him on the pedestal like we did, let's see what you've got. But it's not a huge gap. Oklahoma, their schedule is brutal. We talk about Florida's schedule all the time. We need to have the conversation about Oklahoma's schedule just like we have it with Florida. For their final 5 games, we're talking, Ole Miss, Missouri, Alabama, LSU. The college football playoff will be decided by Oklahoma. And maybe not even because they're in it, but because they play teams like the 4 I just listed that we think have a real opportunity in being in a college football playoff. The college football playoff is going to go through the Oklahoma Sooners. They also play Texas. They also play Tennessee. All of these teams that we put into a group of, we expect 2 of this group to make a playoff, right? If it's Georgia and Texas and we expect 4 teams to get in, well, that group's going to have 2 teams. Well, they got to go through Oklahoma, and Oklahoma's going to kind of decide who makes a 12-team playoff.
Go back to your NFL days. Hardest you've ever been hit. Who was it?
Oh, it's always look. The answer for this is always the same in college and the pro ranks. It was the same guy. It's always Patrick Willis. Patrick Willis was just like the best football player because he's smarter than you, he's faster than you, and he's stronger than you. That is such a bad trio for me as a fullback. And the best / worst part about the entire deal is he would put you into the dirt, and then he had this big smile on his face, and he'd help you up because he's the nicest human being that you've ever met. It makes it worse. Like if there's like a Brandon Spikes guy who is like a habitual line crosser and would do things that like you don't want to even tell people about because they're that bad under a pile, it's like it makes it better. It's like, okay, well, he's just kind of a turd. It's fine. We'll move on. It's going to, make me maybe even play harder the next play. Patrick Willis, I don't know if he knew he was better than you. Probably did because he's better than everybody. And he always had a club. He always had a club like on his hand. He had always broken his hand or something. And like it was a weapon that he had. And man, he was so good. And I played against some of the best. I played against Zach Thomas and Urlacher and Ray Lewis. I played against all those guys. They were great. None of them came close, in my opinion, my experience, to Patrick Willis.
Okay, so something you said a moment ago, as a lover of SEC football, you were at the Red River last year. We've talked about wanting to go. I mean, does it live up to the hype? Is it?
Oh, it's incredible.
Okay.
It is incredible. Just everything about that experience. The fact that it's at the Cotton Bowl and not Jerry's World, right? It still has that old school college football venue. You remember moments watching Roy Williams for Oklahoma jump over the guy trying to block him and him sacking the quarterback, and just, all the moments in that series history. And then also like there's this gigantic fair going on at the same time. Half the people at the fair have no idea that there's a marquee college football game going on, like literally in the middle of this fair. It's not like anything I've ever really been to before. I love the way that they split the crowd, right? It's a little bit different than they do it in Jacksonville. And so you have one side that has just full hate. And if you're in that side of it and you're trying to get things done, it's going to be a long day for you. It is incredible. It was my first experience last year. We did shows for SiriusXM leading into the game. And I've been to some great venues, some great rivalry games, but that one, it's got a unique nature to it because of where it's played, how they set up the crowd, and just some good old-fashioned hate as well.
All right, he is Jacob Hester at Jacob Hester 18 on Twitter, SiriusXM, off the bench with he and T-Bob every morning down there in Louisiana as well. You can watch it on YouTube. Thank you very much, Hester. Great talking with you as always.
Yeah, always a pleasure. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, buddy. You too, Hester, with us. Boy, I stumbled out the finish there.
That's okay.
JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline with Jacob Hester.
Just grab your knee and we'll get that chin strap.
What a great story. I mean, I'm watching it and like he's laying there with his helmet off and then they just cut to the end of the play. I'm like, what happened to Hester? I mean, I know he's alive. I just talked to him the other day. But
I saw Jacob, he does afternoon radios, as Brown was saying. So I saw him all the time. I was just thinking in my head, have we ever seen T-Bob between 2 and 4 in the afternoon, or is he in some dark room?
He's like a vampire.
Upside down?
No, I saw him. So when I was walking out of the Omni, it was probably 4:35 when we were wrapping up.
Happy hours.
No, but he was actually. It was almost like he was doing some kind of yoga. You guys remember out front of the Omni where they had the sports turf?
Yeah, the green space.
Yeah. And he was out there by himself, and he had on headphones, and he was just kind of walking around doing like leg kicks up high and stuff. And so, I mean, he was out at a normal time.
That guy rolls, man. He's what a great combination with Jacob and T-Bob there. Show being brought to you by our friends at Inverness Country Club. You want a great combination: golf, pools, great food, and childcare.
Yeah, childcare, big plus. You and your wife want a day of golf or tennis, guess what? You can drop the kid, go have yourself a day on the course. Dinner with friends, knowing your kid is safe on site, massive plus. Maybe you work from home. What about working from the club while they watch your kid? Find your sense of community at Inverness Country Club. Maybe you relocated to retired. Inverness, great place to network. They've got memberships that fit everyone. The social membership, including the resort-style pool complex, full-service cabana and bar, live music on Friday night, Sunday brunch, the golf membership, beautiful course, currently expanding the driving range. To take a tour of this unbelievable club, call Aaron today. Write this down, 205-991-8608. That's 205-991-8608. Make sure you tell her the next round sent you. For more information, go to iccalabama.com.
11:20 and 5:05 for the Braves today after postponed yesterday. They've lost 3 straight games in a row. They had a players-only meeting yesterday during the rain delay. They started off the year winning 19 of 28. Since then, they're 35 and 36, 8 and 9 in July, 3-game losing streak. Trade deadline coming up, and insiders with The Athletic, and we'll ask Buster about this tomorrow, insiders with The Athletic saying that they do not expect the Braves to make a major deal at the trade deadline because they're getting Harris and Fried and Albies back before the playoffs, that they're going to try to just get healthy and not trade any parts away at the deadline here to be ready for the playoffs. Your thoughts on
Alex Anthopoulos, as Brown said, the moves he was able to make a couple of years ago, when Acuna was out then, nobody thought they had a fighting shot. So I think you got to trust your general manager. I did see, we brought up a Rosarina yesterday, and I did see an article today where they think the Braves will really make a run at him because the guy has been so money once it gets to the postseason. But, I mean, it would take a complete collapse for the Braves to at least not get to the postseason. We've seen it before, but...
And then if you're getting healthy for the postseason, you're going to be there, then why trade away any parts to bring in somebody that will end up being a bench player when the starters come back? Fascinating there. Mets beat the Yankees again last night. They've won all 3 games against the Yankees, 3-2 in that one. They walked Aaron Judge every time last night.
Did they really?
Yeah,
every
time.
That's so boring for the fans. Mets playing better baseball, though. I mean, that's 7 of the last 10. As you said, they just swept the Yankees. They're closing the gap on the Braves for what that is worth in the East standings. They've played some pretty good baseball after this All-Star break.
If we asked, Tyler, Taylor, and EG, how many of them would know?
All the Youngs?
Yeah, how many of them would know what happened 41 years ago today in baseball? If we just said pine tar, would they know what that was?
No.
Maybe EG because she's a big baseball player.
I guarantee you she's seen the video. She just probably doesn't know what it is.
I don't think they're going to know.
Yeah.
I had a pair of his cleats. They were pony cleats.
George Brett
I remember
cleats.
those.
Yep.
Still one of the better interviews we've ever had. Rockstar loved our interview with George Brett.
He was drinking a
margarita. He had a dip in.
And at one point he answers a question. Now we're outdoors, but he answers a question, and he takes our headset and he lifts the microphone and goes, and pulls the mic back down. Just takes a big old spit right up.
You know that. Say you're a baseball player without saying it, right?
We've seen some meltdowns in professional sports, but the anger. They say that every human has that ability just to completely just go insane and flip. He flipped coming out of that dugout.
He looks like a wild man because of the way he's running and his hair is just flowing.
Big chewing.
And it was all because he had pine tar above the stripe, right?
Yeah, a rule that's never enforced.
And doesn't even really make sense to me, honestly.
They protested the game. Yankees won that game. They protested it.
It's Billy Martin, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
They won. They won the protest, one of only 15 successful protests in Major League Baseball history. So they had to come back and replay the game in which the Royals ended up beating the Yankees.
Yeah, that was such a idle threat. Yeah. Like I even remember playing, high school games that were protested.
What is the thinking behind that rule? Why can you not have pine tar above a certain part of the barrel? Do you know?
It seems like it would defeat the purpose if you had it up in the barrel.
It's not helping you hit, right?
Yeah, it was just more of a grip thing.
Yeah, I don't know why higher up made a difference.
But that was the rule that they protested, right? Is they have pine tar above because there's the little stripe on the bat. And like you said, I've never seen it enforced.
And I guess that was the same season. So 41 years back. No, I guess it wasn't. 1980 was the season I mean, going into the final week of the season, he was flirting with 400, ended up hitting 390.
Yeah. 41 years ago that took place.
That is
today.
the last time we've hit anybody hit 390 or above.
Was that 41 years
Brett?
ago?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it was longer than that. It was 1980. So
I remember Tony Gwynn seemed like he would flirt
44
with that.
years ago.
Tony Gwynn would flirt with that on occasion, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I mean,
It'd
Tony
always be in August and be like, oh, Gwen's got to do this.
I
Shot at
think
400.
Gwen topped out around 370.
Yeah.
I just remember that 390 number.
Weight of wellness is a number that you want to keep in mind when it comes to your weight loss. Our Meltdown guys are over 100 pounds lost now. They continue to get healthy with a planforme.com, the website, a planforme.com. Weight of wellness, your journey to healthy living. And the best thing about this is there's no cookie cutter plan. You see the guys going through an evaluation here. Melton's got one for him. Lunceford's got one for him. I'm working on blood pressure and cholesterol, so I've got something different than they do. It's all right there. Everything's designed specifically for you. The program's overseen by Leslie and her board-certified professionals. This is the free consultation you get. There's no contract. There's no sign-up fee. And the website, again, is a planforme.com. Just go there, a planforme.com, Weight of Wellness, your journey to healthy living. One more baseball note before we get to a break, and we've got 4 downs in the next segment. Tyler Fitzgerald is a rookie for the San Francisco Giants. Last night he hit his 5th home run in 5 consecutive games. Last person to do that, Barry Bonds for the Giants. So that's pretty.
Barry home run in 5 consecutive games.
A home run in 5 consecutive games.
Yep.
Barry Bonds coming up in 4 downs.
How about that? That's full circle is what we call that.
Yeah. Is today's national holiday coming up in 4 downs?
I don't even know what today's national. I know it's something food related.
It is alcohol related. Marty hinted at it earlier.
Margarita?
It is National Tequila Day.
Okay.
National
I
Tequila Day.
Well, actually, I'm meeting a client. But before I meet the client, maybe I'll go grab one of those watermelon margaritas from Taco Mama.
Taco Mama.
If you've never had the watermelon margarita,
It's
it's got
fantastic.
legitimately watermelon pieces in it. It is incredible.
It is
It's
really
seasonal,
good.
so you need to grab it now.
I like a good. Do you guys like a jalapeno margarita?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I do.
I do
yeah.
too.
That's my go-to. If they don't have blood orange, which is seasonal too, or the watermelon, I go with the jalapeno.
They've got a good one there
And
too.
can't they make the watermelon spicy at Taco
Yeah.
Mama?
Yeah.
I
So
thought
they basically mix the jalapeno and the watermelon.
Oh, and it's great.
It's a little sweet heat. It does taste really, really good. Craving that now. A quick break when we come back. 4 downs and a little bit more college football. Stay with us.
Follow Jon Lunceford on Twitter at jlunce.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Early in our radio days, Brownie and I, we had dnbradio.com, and I would do the top reads of the day. And I did that for about a year when we started this to try to get the word out about the next round. It got brought up to me twice at SEC Media Days, once by Connor O'Gara and some other writer who I don't remember his name, but brought up that at separate times that I miss when you used to do the top reads. And Connor said it was more like a motivation meal. I made Jim's top reads today.
What motivation!
Yeah, but Connor writes today. Apparently Connor doesn't get to watch the show every day. LT.
Right.
Connor O'Gara is headlined today. Nobody's talking about Jackson Arnold and how he could be the next great Oklahoma quarterback.
I know somebody that is.
And I said, Lance has said that 60 times this summer that he could be Johnny Manziel. What if he's Johnny Manziel? Could he be Johnny Manziel-esque?
I would pick Oklahoma to be in the college football playoff this year if they had certain schedules. If they had the schedule of Missouri, if they had the schedule of Ole Miss, Texas. I'm sure you probably could. Yeah, Texas might be that. Yeah, if you flipped them. And I'm sure if you took a look at maybe some of the Vanderbilts, Mississippi States, I really haven't broken down those schedules. But their schedule's just brutal. So I really don't know what realistic expectations from 6 wins to 10 wins in year 3 under Brent Venables. I've said this before. If I'm an Oklahoma fan and you can find 8 wins on that schedule with a first-year starting quarterback, be excited because Oklahoma is going to be a lot to deal with if that's the case.
All right. Let me just give you Dylan Gabriel's numbers from last year, and you tell me higher or lower for Jackson Arnold.
Yeah.
You good with that?
Betting favorite to win the Heisman.
Dylan Gabriel?
Yeah.
69.3% completion percentage. I mean, if it's higher than that,
man,
pretty good, by the way.
Yeah, and we got to take into account, look, there were some pretty good defenses in the Big 12, but overall, the majority of the defenses aren't what you're going to see week to week. So I just don't think that number is going to be as big. And Dylan Gabriel, it's a different type of quarterback. So much experience. I don't think that number is going to be as high.
I think 74% Bo Nix led the country. Jacob Zeno of UAB, 73-point-something% was number 2. So 69%, not
pretty
far
high
off the nation's lead.
3,660 yards. That averages 305 a game. Do you think he'll be better or worse than 305 a game?
300 yards passing a game.
He's going to be worse.
30 touchdowns passing.
Worse.
6 interceptions.
Worse.
I mean, so Jackson Arnold's not better than any of those numbers.
No, but I think what you've done, if you're Brent Venables, you've kind of painted yourself into a corner. You know that he's going to be the future. Is that you hang on to Dylan Gabriel when you've got a brutal schedule coming up going into the SEC. Even with Gabriel, the chances of really making noise and having a monumental year are slim. Do you keep the young guy happy? You build upon this year, and you've got him maybe at least another year, possibly 2 years after that.
So he's playing the long game.
He is.
You've expressed a lot of things about Jackson the whole time. First time I've heard you explain it that way. That makes a lot of sense.
373 rush yards for Dylan Gabriel. Is Jackson Arnold going to run it that much, you think?
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Okay, and then 12 rushing touchdowns. So Dylan Gabriel responsible for 42 touchdowns last year for Oklahoma.
I mean, if Jackson Arnold has 42 touchdowns this year, watch out.
No, Oklahoma's probably in the playoffs. I mean, they have far exceeded what everyone thinks.
Lanceslock.com, brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill. I don't know if you're playing any baseball, obviously.
Yeah, I've got 2 games up right now.
I don't know if you're playing USA-France Olympic soccer.
I am not.
Today.
I am not. I will be taking a look at the Olympic basketball. I've already studied the numbers that are coming up this weekend. we've been in the exhibition rounds.
Yep.
And the U.S. lucky to escape Germany 2 days ago. But I have been looking at those numbers. But just baseball up, we had one play last night, easy win with the Diamondbacks. We are now 8-4 in the second half of the baseball season, up 40 units. Jump on board, lanceslog.com. Always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services, 205-229-2090. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. For more information, hemphillservices.com. I cannot believe we're 8 days away from actual football.
Yeah,
I know.
The
1
Hall
week
of Fame
from
game,
Thursday.
right?
Yeah, it's 1 week from tomorrow.
Yeah, we got international football today in USA and France starting the Olympic events today.
When was the opening ceremonies? Was it this
Friday?
Friday
is the
night.
opening ceremony.
Oh, so it's coming up. This is pre. Okay,
but you have to play some of these games before the
Understood.
opening
I just didn't know if I'd missed it.
So
I guess I'll miss it Friday.
Right now, in fact, we've got the USA and France in rugby that is being played on the USA Network.
Oh, I'll turn it right there.
And then this afternoon, it's soccer, and it's USA and France as well. That's on the USA Network. I think that's at 2:00 this afternoon on USA and Peacock. And sneaky tough game. The Americans are seeded 5th, but they're in the same group with France. But the rules are so ironic or iconic or messed up is the word, actually. I need a better word than any of the words I said there. Top 100 players in soccer, only 2 of them are playing in the Olympics. So you got to be 23 and under. You can only have 3 players over the age of 23 in a stupid rule. So the Americans, it actually benefits them. It makes them a little bit more competitive. So they got a fighting chance today against France.
So I don't know if you guys know who the Americans have got in their first draw this weekend in basketball.
I do not, Lance.
Is it South Sudan again?
No, they're in their group.
Directional Sudan?
But it's Serbia.
That's a tough
Nikola
draw.
Jokic.
Yeah, we're going.
So you've got Jokic that he will give anybody fits. Now what's the surrounding cast with Serbia? Not really sure.
What is the
U.S.
the number?
15.5 point favorite right now.
Okay.
Yep.
You would say, though, it was exhibition, obviously, but you would say this Serbian team is going to be better than South Sudan.
I would think so.
Yeah. It could be juicy.
15.5 seems like a big number, but it all comes down to motivation. Do these guys really want to play hard? And they play from start to finish. They probably win the game going away, but if they don't, 15.5 seems like pretty good value.
Speaking of the Olympics, as we get ready for 4 Downs, brought to you by Slice, Clyde Drexler becomes the first member of the Dream Team in 1992 to put his gold medal up for auction.
Is Clyde hurting? I saw this story and I thought, I hope Clyde, that's going through a lot of money if he's hurting for cash.
Opening bid $250,000.
You say this. I bet Clyde only made $15 million on court.
Maybe.
And Clyde was a great player. If Clyde was playing today, Clyde would be making $35-40 a year.
Yeah, I didn't read the story, but I assume, Jim, that the story would have told you if he's doing this to raise money for a specific charity or something like that.
Did not mention that in the part of. It was a short story I read that just said he was putting it up and talked about how Clyde wasn't one of the original 10. He and Christian Laettner were the coach add-ons.
$31.14 million is what he made in his NBA career. You're right. Guys make that. Not even top end guys make that in a season.
Well, and how long has he been retired? 20 years.
Oh, a long time. Yeah.
So, maybe he had $10 million, and boy, that would burn fast.
I saw that headline, and I didn't, I'm the king of this. Read the headline, don't read the story. I thought he's either out of money or he's doing this for a charity. I hope he's not out of money. That's very sad if he's got to sell his gold medal.
Didn't get that deep into that on the story I read at Yahoo Sports. But Clyde Drexler, of the 12 guys on that team, 11 of them still have their gold medal. Karl Malone sold a replica one for $74,000 a couple of years back. But
a replica?
A replica
awesome.
for $74,000.
We could make we'll make a replica. I'll sell it to you for $5,000.
Yeah.
I got a guy named Scooby over on the East Coast in Atlanta. He can make you a replica.
Is that Karl Malone's gold? It's a replica.
It's a replica of his gold.
Hey, by the way, Karl Malone, was he in 4 Downs yesterday?
No.
Or is it today?
Maybe today.
So we got Barry Bonds and
Karl Malone is in 4 Downs.
Dunaway, you were all over 4 Downs today.
Full circle brought to you by our friends at Slice. Tell us about Slice.
5 locations for you. The original Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park, the newest location in Edgewood, created by the late Jeff Bajaya, just an incredible dude. Started from scratch, his own Domino's, turned it into this massive concept that is Slice. His brothers Jason and Chris continue to celebrate his legacy. Get into one of those 5 locations. Local pizza, local ingredients. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
I somehow ended up on Ireland and South Africa playing rugby. But you're telling me the U.S. is playing right now? Good crowd for a rugby game. Big sport over there, I guess, huh?
These games go so fast. Maybe we've already played.
I could have. I don't know. Go ahead, Lance. Sorry.
No, all good. More wins this year. Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love, as we look at Jordan Love on our third screen down there.
You'll see Aaron Rodgers pretty quick down there, too, I'm sure. I would say I'm going to go Jordan Love. I think more difficult. The Lions are really good. I don't know what the Bears are. I think the Vikings take a little bit of a step back. A tougher division for Aaron Rodgers with the Bills and the Dolphins.
One of the dumbest questions I've ever, and this is saying a lot, on the screen earlier on Get Up, was does Aaron Rodgers have to have an MVP-like year for the Jets to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, that's pretty much any quarterback.
Yeah,
in the NFL.
any quarterback that wins the Super Bowl usually going to be MVP-like year. I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers.
You know, it's going to be sad, and you guys know, like, I like Aaron Rodgers better than I used to. I think he's done a pretty good job of rehabbing the image. It's going to be sad if he comes out and he's a shell of himself. I don't think he will be that, but if he is, I mean, we really haven't seen him play football in a couple of years.
I know.
I think he would have shut it down if he thought that was going to be the case.
Yeah. I will go.
I'm going to go Jordan Love. Yeah, coming off.
It's going to be close.
Coming off a 9-8 last year, the way he played in the second half did not turn the football over. I will go Jordan Love as well.
Second down.
Drake London, shout out Scott Forrester in the back. One of my favorite Trojans of all time. 23 years old today. So much in front of him. But if I asked you, ultimately better receiver, Drake London or Roddy White?
I mean, Roddy White, is he still the all-time leading receiver in
I
franchise?
think Julio passed him.
I'm not certain of that, but I thought Julio passed him.
But yeah, I think it's Julio, Roddy, and then Andre Rison, I think.
Bad Moon is that high, huh?
At some point, Drake's gotten off to a slow start because of the quarterback.
I mean, he was still good with bad quarterback play.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Drake London he is outstanding. I would go Drake London if he stays healthy. Now he's got a quarterback. Looks like he's got his quarterback for this year and maybe next year, and then he's got his quarterback in the future, and Michael Penix.
I'm going to go Roddy White. I'm going to think the Falcons mess up somehow and let London get out of the franchise at some point.
Maybe he'll come back to L.A. I'd take it.
You'd hate to see him as a Charger.
Yeah, play for the Chargers. I will go ultimately Roddy White. I was trying to find his receiving number because that's what you ask, right? Total number.
Yards or receptions, however you wanted to do it.
No, I was looking for yards, and I just couldn't find it on a quick search here. Here it is, 10,863. It's 42nd all time. I think I'll say Roddy has more than Drake London. That's a lot of receiving yards. 10,000.
It is.
I watched Drake London was the only option
really good
on some average Trojan teams. Everybody knew where the ball was going, and he still was able to adjust and make those plays.
Third down.
Karl Malone. What do you say? He was out hunting Mexican girls when he had that hat on to Kobe Bryant? 61 years old today. If I asked you better choral career, Karl Malone, Carl Weathers,
Carl
or
Marks.
Carl Lewis?
Oh, I thought we were going to go Carl Marks.
Karl Malone for me. Then
Carl Lewis pretty good,
then
man.
Karl Marks.
No, Carl Marks is
Carl
mine.
Weathers.
Wasn't one of
Carl Weathers.
Apollo Creed.
I'm going to put
Action
third.
Jackson.
He's third.
Iconic character,
He
though.
is, he is, but it's down to Carl Lewis or Karl Malone for me. I'm going to look up Carl Lewis's.
I would go Malone. I might go Weathers and then Carl Lewis.
Jim.
I mean, Carl Lewis just ran in a straight line.
Yeah, but he did it with
So does Usain Bolt.
He's faster, though.
He did some 440s, I think.
No. He's got 2 golds in the long jump.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't
Then he
discount Carl
jumped high.
Lewis. Yeah.
I'm going to say that Carl Lewis, Alabama native. True?
Excuse
I
me.
think so.
Yeah, 4 golds in the long jump. I'm sorry, 4 golds in the long jump. 2 in the 100 meter, 1 in the 200 meter, and then 2 in the 4x100 meter relay.
So when you go
was all around.
When you go 200 meters, you got to make a loop. You got to make a turn.
Okay, Carl Weathers, though, did beat Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to think of other guys that he beat.
Yeah.
Scripted.
Played for the Raiders, by the way, in
Died in
real
the
life,
ring.
not scripted.
Yeah. Unscripted.
He died what?
Died in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gave it his all for LSU.
Malone was unbelievable, though.
Yeah, I'm going to go Carl Lewis here. That's 9 gold medals, guys. How many you people
Malone's
have 9 gold medals?
He's got a couple of gold medals.
Yeah, got
Malone,
a real one and a replica.
Yeah, I mean, you can make an argument Malone, the most athletic 4 of all time.
Yeah, I'm going Malone, Lewis, and Weathers. And then Marks. He's going to be dead last for me every time.
Karl Marx.
4th down.
Pretty big impact on his decisions.
I mean, Karl Malone or Karl from, what was the name
Carl
of it?
Spackle from Caddyshack?
Sling Blade.
Oh, yeah.
Carl, what was his last name?
Just Karl, wasn't it?
Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
Fat Billy Bob Thornton. So 2 big celebrity birthdays. Barry Bonds, 60 today. J-Lo, 55. Better career. Jennifer Lopez or Barry Bonds?
Oh, this is very hard.
By the way, did y'all see the video of Ben Affleck walking J-Lo to the car?
I did not.
And he's got this look. He's walking behind her, and there's a paparazzi guy, and you can just tell he's so fed up with her. Like, she is just so high maintenance, and he kind of just slams the door behind her like, I am so over this.
Maybe she got her foot in, maybe she didn't.
I think I'm going to go Barry Bonds. If Barry Bonds never had any of the PED issues, I think we would view him as the greatest player we've ever seen.
How do you factor that into this, though? You don't care, but I think most people, I don't care.
I mean, she might have got injections on her
That's
ass.
what I'm saying.
Maybe
You
her
don't
ass
know.
doesn't look
You
like
do
this,
not
so
know.
maybe she's got PEDs.
I mean,
she may have had butt lifts.
Is her version of PEDs plastic surgery? I would say so.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, it's not against the rules, but it does kind of change the game for her. So I guarantee you she's had plastic surgery of some sort.
And I'm going to say something uncomfortable. I think I enjoyed watching Barry Bonds do his skill more than I did J-Lo.
I will say, though, that J-Lo, I mean, some of her music back in the early 2000s was fun. We'll call it fun. I thought her in Out of Sight, I thought she was really good as Karen Sisko. So I thought she had some acting skills. And if you go back and you look at halftime shows, you could make the argument that she was the greatest dancer, her and Shakira, in halftime shows for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, that's a very narrow.
Just trying to check some boxes for her.
Right.
Hot take: Paula Abdul better dancer than J-Lo?
I don't think so. But I never really saw Paula dance. I probably did from a different view when she was a Laker girl.
Didn't she invent the Laker girls? Didn't she?
She was very instrumental. I think she was a little. They were there before her, but I think
that HBO documentary made it sound like she ended up being she was a Laker girl, and they were just doing traditional dance moves, and then your guy, the doctor, wanted to juice it up a little bit, like to make it strip club, and here comes Paula Abdul to choreograph.
Speaking of Dr. Boss and that, like I didn't like Showtime, but I've watched a little bit of Clipped on FX. Have you guys watched it? Donald Sterling. It's a disaster.
No.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of that is real.
But Lawrence Fishburne is Doc Rivers.
Is that
miscast? And he's the fat Lawrence Fishburne.
Does he talk like Doc? Does he talk like this?
Believe it or not, like when I heard he was going to be Doc Rivers, I was like, this ain't going to work. But it's not awful.
I will say this about J-Lo and one of her original roles. I was in San Antonio last month. Selena is such a big deal there. Like I was not really familiar with the whole Selena story.
That's crazy.
Until J-Lo did the movie, and then I was.
Oh yeah, she was really good as Selena too.
Yeah, was she?
Yeah.
Was that critically acclaimed? I've never seen.
Yeah,
the movie.
I mean, she was nominated for like a Golden Globe. I didn't see it either, but I mean, according to the critics, she was really good.
My gosh, I mean, they still. I mean, how long has that been? 30 years?
Yeah, it's been a long time, and that was such a weird. Like the head of the fan club is the one that killed her.
Yeah, it was like they were. The managers, like money was missing or something like that.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, Selena's still a really big deal
Rocky,
in San Antonio.
can you give us a side by side of J-Lo and Money Train to J-Lo now?
Has she changed something?
Oh my gosh,
PEDs.
I think this just shows you. And if you don't have time for it, it's not a big deal. But it just shows you how different people with money can look.
Oh, I'll just give her when she was a fly girl. How about that?
Yeah, that's fair.
As you do that, tell us about Slice. They just brought you 4 downs.
Yeah, 5 great locations. Stop in for a slice and a salad today. Local pizza, local ingredients. Very creative, too, from the Soul Pie, the Hot Mama, the Bajaya Special, Wing and a Prayer, Spicy Hawaiian. You're going to absolutely love this pizza. Stop into one of those 5 locations or online. Go to slicebirmingham.com.
That is not J-Lo.
That's when she was a fly girl for In Living Color. Do you not believe she's aged well?
Oh, she's gotten better.
Yeah, she looks younger now.
No, but if you went to your dental office and she was back there, you wouldn't take two looks at her. If she's back there, hey, can you sign in here? Can you give me your insurance information?
Sure.
But then if you saw J-Lo now, you'd be like, damn, this doctor's got a lot on his plate.
This guy stepped it up at the counter. Yeah, wow.
Well, I mean,
it's aggressive necklaces too.
I mean, what year is that, Rockstar? Early 90s?
Like 90.
Yeah, because of the hairstyle. I mean, that always makes you look so much older.
No, but I mean, her face is more square there.
Yeah, I mean, she just almost doesn't look like the same person.
She got a bigger nose there.
Yeah. She had a nose job?
Yeah.
Smaller rack. Like Dr. B put her back together.
If only Dr. B was queued up right there. Our show being brought to you by our friends at, well, go ahead, Dr. B. You mentioned Dr. B. Why not?
Hey, you got a wife? You wanted to make her look like J-Lo? No, we're talking hair here with Dr. B. Dr. B, though, he is a magician. He can do a lot of different things for more than 20 years.
Voila.
Women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training in genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. Beckenstein today, 205-319-0316. I'm doing that non-invasive treatment. Brown is doing it 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. That is it. My hair is more than doubled in thickness. For more information, go online. Go to t3hair.net.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries, to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round. Unfortunately, over the past year, I've noticed significant hair loss. I asked around, and everyone said call Dr. Beckenstein. He is the absolute best. Dr. B pioneered the use of NeoGraft hair restoration right here in Alabama, and he remains at the forefront of hair preservation in the Southeast. He takes pride in treating each patient personally, applying his expertise to produce quality results. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein for a range of hair restoration and cosmetic procedures. He uses that experience and his advanced training to help his patients fully understand his procedures they are considering. Call Dr. Beckenstein today, 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Buying that perfect home is one of the most important financial decisions you'll ever make, so it's crucial that you have the right partner to help you through the process. Hi, I'm Lisa Zeig, Vice President Mortgage Loan Officer for Bryant Bank, and I'm here to tell you that we are that partner, making it easy to buy with confidence. We offer a variety of mortgage products to fit your unique home buying situation. That kind of hassle-free approach might not be what you'd expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give me a call today or visit one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama and let me show you what banking beyond expectation is all about.
31 days away from the start of college football. show number 748 today. We'll talk more college football coming up in just a second. But Brownie and I had a chance to play golf yesterday in the rain with some great folks. And then we met Becca in the grill area, who she was like, "Oh, my husband."
I think boyfriend.
I thought it was husband.
I think it's boyfriend.
I'll go Diet Coke that it's husband.
May never see these people again, but okay.
Yeah. Becca said, T and R, what is that on the hat? And I said, it's our sports show that we do. It's the next round. My husband said you guys may be coming to play.
The way I remember it, she says, my boyfriend said you guys may be coming to Mason is his name.
How would the boyfriend know?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did you guys talk about it yesterday?
I don't remember if we did or
Brown's
not.
a big deal. So a lot of people knew we were going to be out there playing.
So shout out to Mason and Becca. Either married or dating. Married in Dunaway's mind, dating in mine.
Yep.
But shout out to you guys. Thank you for being kind to us yesterday.
And Becca, what a great job on the transfusion. It was fantastic.
That was a good transfusion.
It really was. All right. The show being brought to you in part by our friends at Odie's, LT.
Again, Rockstar, it is Wednesday night.
Oh, that's a double time. That's a little bit of trivia tonight. A little reminder.
Yeah, I can't throw it out there, but I've got our question already ready for tonight. But always fun, Odie's Team Trivia. Get there a little early. I'm going to get there early, meeting some people out there tonight. Enjoy the great food from Rodney Davis, award-winning wings, delicious burgers, ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. 2 locations. The one we'll be at tonight in Crestline, which will always be the host of Odie's Fest, 35th anniversary coming up this Saturday night. 3 bands starting at 6 o'clock. Absolutely free for everybody out there. And also the Edgewood location. Get in, see Will Haver and those great staffs at Odie's Tavern.
Okay, a little footnote to what Brown was talking about with Jacob Hester. It was a topic I wanted to discuss. He asked it to Jacob, and a good discussion there in the Rose Bowl, telling the college football playoff folks yesterday, do not put us into the rotation for anything other than quarterfinal games. We want to stay on January 1st. For the first time ever, they're flexible on kick times, they tell them. Flexible on kick times. Does not have to be 2 o'clock Pacific, which has been their traditional kick time. They said, if you need to move us around, we're okay with that. But we do want to play on January the 1st and only in the quarterfinals. Never want to move off of that. Does not preclude them from hosting a national championship game, but that's a bid only.
That's right.
Yeah,
which they've never really done.
Exactly.
They've never bid on it.
So this, it may only be professional stadiums from now on.
Yeah.
This year, Atlanta will double dip. It will have a Peach Bowl quarterfinal and then back at Mercedes for the national championship. You'll see that happen occasionally, probably with the Sugar Bowl, probably with the Cotton Bowl, probably with the Orange Bowl. The Rose Bowl says we don't want to be rotated into the semifinals, which is going to be a week later off of that January 1st date. We want to stay quarterfinals. I really like this, that they're doing this. I like that January 1 date. I love the way we're doing this now. We're going to have 1 playoff game on New Year's Eve. We're going to have 3 playoff games on January 1st. Boom, boom, boom. All big bowl games. I like the way we're doing this on January 1st.
I've got no problem with it. Look, it's part of their tradition. We know, much like Augusta National, they don't like to change. And it's still going to be a big game in a great venue. And I like this more than them rotating out and selling themselves to a national championship game.
And the Pac-12's gone, so they no longer have to
the
wish
Big
for
Ten,
those
Pac-12,
days where it's the Pac-12 champion versus the Big Ten champion.
Yeah, you were not going to get that anyway. I mean, that conference expansion has killed that. So, you've already been, part of your tradition has been taken away based on that. So I guess that has caused them to evaluate their whole tradition. It's like, do we really need the sun setting against the mountains on TV?
So here is my debate on this, and why I wanted to bring it up in the aftermath of what you asked Jacob, is with the 4 quarterfinal games that are placed in the bowl games, those will be buys, so you already know who the anchor team will be for that. Do you think, for those that don't know, the system we've had the past few years with 2 teams, the number 1 seed got to choose which semifinal bowl game they played in. They got to pick. That was part of being number 1. If they wanted, if Georgia wanted to stay close in New Orleans, then they'd be there and would ship everyone else out west. I wonder if they will allow the 1 to pick, then the 2, 3, 4 on which quarterfinals bowl game they go to, or if they will try to pot it like the NCAA tournament does, and like say USC makes they're one of the 4 bye teams that's going to play on New Year's Day Do they put them in the Rose Bowl or, a Big Ten team traditionally in the Rose Bowl? If the Sugar Bowl or the Peach Bowl is a quarterfinal game, will they try to put an SEC team there? Do you think they'll seed it that way or give them a choice anymore?
I don't know. I would give them the choice. If you seed it, you got to be careful too. So let's say the Peach Bowl was a host and Georgia had to play an on-campus game, and now they're coming to play in the quarterfinals, and one seed, give me a team, Michigan or whatever. You can't send them to Atlanta and make them play Georgia, right?
Yeah, well, it's going to be predetermined. The bracket, they've announced that. The bracket's going to be the bracket. There'll be no reseeding. So if there's an upset,
well, that's what I'm saying.
We'll already know who the anchor team is.
But if Michigan was the number one seed and that was slated for the Peach, it's not really fair for them to play Georgia there.
No, but when we did have the option to choose, like if it was Orange Bowl, Rose Bowl, if Alabama was going, Nick Saban was always going to go Orange Bowl because of the geography, and it was easier for fans to travel there. What's going to be interesting one day, once in a lifetime, maybe UCLA makes the Rose Bowl in the college football playoff. I think Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee fan, whatever fan base it is, would have a better chance of filling up that venue than UCLA playing for a big-time game.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think you got to keep choice in there, because if Michigan chooses, we want to go to Atlanta no matter what, if you might get Georgia there, well, that's all right. We chose it. I think you got to let them choose.
I like the way you're already thinking that Georgia can't even get a bye anymore.
It was just an example.
The dynasty's
because the game
over.
was in Atlanta. They would have. Hey,
that's what Josh Pate told us. They're not getting a bye.
Hey, they would have had to play on campus last year. That was a good Georgia team, but last year they would have been on campus.
Yeah, they'd have been number 5 between the hedges.
That's
probably.
right. They would have been playing a 12 seed on campus.
Yeah, it's interesting on how they're going to do that. I have not seen that yet. Though the bracket is the bracket. When they lay it out, there's no reseeding. So if you end up with major upsets, one semifinal, could be.
I'm fine with that.
Could be upset, while the other semifinal is 2 versus 3. That's just the way brackets work out, just like in the NCAA tournament. Show being brought to you by our friends at Precision Sports. When we come back, I'm going to ask these guys about some huddles. Do we expect more or less same in the huddles because of the in-helmet comm? It was one of the discussion points we had at SEC Media Days with the coaches, and a lot more as we continue on. Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedic provides you part of the show today, and they provide your health care coverage. If you have tweaked something, pulled something, got pains or breaks, they'll take care of it, diagnose it, treat it, and rehab. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again today. What more can I say about Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedic other than that when my daughter got hurt, they're the first people I call. It's the way LT feels about them, the way I feel about them, the way you should feel about them too. 205-512-3885, 512-3885, precisionsportsortho.com/2024. Locations in Jasper, Alabaster, and everywhere in between. Go and check them out. Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedic provider, precisionsportsortho.com/2024.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you, 969-8100 or Michelson. LaserVision.com.
Our friends at Longest Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Longest offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, and entertainment room, helping you elevate your home design and decor. Longest offers everything from vibrant outdoor furniture to breezy home accents. Everything you need to create your own sunshine sanctuary. Right now, you can save up to 10% store-wide, receive $300 in Longest sleep credits with select mattress purchases, and access special financing on tons of hot buys. Take exit 280 off the I-65 Hallmark Farms exit today to see what Longest has to offer you.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trustful. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
The first time I saw it, I don't know if it's just was official, but McAfee just opened his show with a 3-minute montage announcing he's coming back to College Game Day. It was really well put together stuff. It's the first time I saw it.
I was told by someone, because we had asked this, what will the pick segment look like if McAfee comes back? Because, you've got Reese, that hosts the show, Desmond, McAfee, Lee Corso, Nick Saban, Kirk Herbstreit. Did I miss anybody?
That's at least 6 chairs.
And then normally they have a guest picker in.
7. It's too much. It's almost like, let's get rid of the guest picker. Let's get rid of Desmond as far as that segment. I know you love him.
I don't love him. He's just been there a long time.
I would go Reese just to be traffic cop, McAfee, Saban, Corso.
But I was told that Saban, the plan is for him to participate in the pick segment. Because I wondered about that.
Well, we know after day one of SEC Media Days, he doesn't give a shit. So he's going to call it like he sees it.
Yeah, but I would, because the person I asked, that's close to game day there, I was like, I've always thought, and this was before Nick Saban came out, as Lance said, on the first day of game day, or the first day of SEC Media Days. He's like, I've got question marks about Alabama's secondary, so I cannot pick them to play for the conference championship. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah. Thing's on, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But I was told prior to that, because I asked, I was like, Nick Saban, he's going to be picking games that involve, Kirby Smart, who he's close to, and Lane Kiffin, and that coach for him, and Steve Sarkisian, that coach for him that he's close to. How's he going to do that? And he's like, he's going to do the picks.
He's in Alabama.
Like, okay. Yeah. Alabama, who he coached. I mean, that was my whole point. It's like week 5, it's going to be Georgia, Alabama, and most people are going to be picking Georgia in that game.
And it's going to be in Tuscaloosa.
It's going to be in Tuscaloosa. It's going to be right there in front of his crowd. Yeah. And they're like, no, he's going to be in the pick segment. That is the plan for Nick Saban right now.
Interesting. So officially McAfee back, I don't know if that was new today or while we were gone, but I just saw the commercial opening there. Was pretty cool. Well done. Show brought to you by Champy's. Always well done. Not the chicken. It's not overcooked or anything. It's cooked perfectly, but it is well done, perfectly cooked right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Champy's world famous fried chicken. That man right there is Sterling. It's been too long since I've seen Sterling. Got to go see him pretty soon. Hopefully he's going to come by and see us too before football season. Those hand-cut chicken fingers, those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, so perfect. When it comes to your tailgate, just get them in a big pan, pick them up, take them to your tailgate, and be the hit of the game day experience wherever you go watch your games. Chicken's brined overnight, cooked to order, piping hot. It is Champy's world-famous fried chicken. All right, couple of sound bites here. in-helmet communications, like in the NFL, we get in college football. Alabama a lot further along with this than Auburn in our discussions at SEC Media Day. So you'll hear from two important people on the Alabama side. One of them is head coach Kalen DeBoer right here talking about the in-helmet communications.
How do you like that? And have you seen a positive and a negative to it so far?
Yeah, that's been actually something even here just in the last couple of weeks. I've been continuing to just try to process, and you kind of had the first go around in spring ball, and we had a limited number of headphone that were available just because of the supply and demand across the country now with all the programs having it. So a couple quarterbacks, a couple guys on defense had it, and at first it's just a matter of getting used to talking and having that headpiece in your helmet, but I just got to make sure that we can use it maybe to an advantage. Just strategic. It does shut off with 15 seconds left, and so there's pieces of the game. As long as you've done this 20 plus years, there's new elements now, and it honestly it kind of makes it fun. Makes it fun. But I think it's a good thing. I don't know if it necessarily solves what I think it was intentionally brought up to do, and the stealing of signs or whatever it might be, because I think that can still happen. I'm sure there's going to be maybe teams that format things with more huddling and stuff, which will certainly help in that case. But it's been good so far, and we'll have a kind of more refined approach as we get into fall camp, and especially with the scrimmages.
Now, Hugh Freeze of Auburn told us he didn't know yet. They hadn't worked as much with it yet on whether it would impact them huddling more or not, and he doesn't know how that is. How it's going to be yet. I wonder, around college football, do you think we will see more huddles, or will it not change at all?
Well, it made sense what Hugh said. Now you don't see the huddle. It's kind of the extinct animal out there.
Yep.
But Hugh said the fact that it will bring everybody in now to the quarterback, which I kind of see that. Now, Kalen didn't really say that, but Hugh did. But Hugh also said, as you said, like, we really haven't done anything with it. I just assume this is the way it's going to be. But I do think there's going to be more huddling.
But Heupel and Levy, they like to snap it, at Mississippi State and Tennessee, they like to snap it every 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So you can't huddle up and snap it every 20 seconds.
No, and you just wonder, how many hand signals. And again, this was kind of created to get away with people stealing signs, right? Yep. But if you're not going to have the huddle, you've still got to be able to do hand signals.
But the other thing that it should reduce is delays of game, right? Delay of game penalties.
It should until you have the confusion where.
Yeah, I can't hear. Yeah. We see that a lot in the NFL as
And you guys know NFL sound stadiums compared to college.
A little different.
If they're doing this in the NFL, what are they going to be doing at night in Baton Rouge?
And in the NFL, every ball is snapped either a second late or a second before the play clock goes off.
What do you think? And I looked this up as we were playing that. So in last year's NFL season, per team, what do you think the average was for the whole season for delays of game?
I would say the average was 11 delay of games.
That was the worst of any team, was 11. Yeah. Minnesota had 11. That was the worst of any team. The average league-wide was 5 for the entire season.
Well, and it's because
schedule.
They give so much leeway, and I just don't know if SEC, Big 12, ACC, and Big 10 officials are going to do that.
Well, the way
I would also tell you that college coaches are more willing to burn a timeout to save it any point in the game than the NFL. Well, they just would let the NFL take the flag. They value those timeouts.
Yeah, and they should. Those timeouts.
Yeah, I would rather take. I would say the majority of the time. Obviously, it's situational, but I would rather take the 5 than burn a timeout, especially in the second half.
How many times do you watch an NFL game where timeouts remaining factor into the end of the game?
It's victory formation almost every game.
Almost every game, timeouts remaining factor in.
If they pick up the first down, the game's over.
That's right. Now in college, timeouts remaining almost never when you consider the majority of the games, never affect the game. But it should reduce a delay of game penalty. It should. I don't know if it will, but it should. Now, to your point though, Lance, the way we've always been told it's administered in college is the back judge, I think it is the one that calls that penalty, right? He's watching the play clock. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. looks from the clock, looks at the snap. So that's why sometimes it hits 0.
And it seems like it would be easy because you've got, and look, and I know everything's quick, but you've got it right in front of you. And it's almost, you can see the motion of the center with the ball when the clock is ticking.
It's almost like it hits 0.
But
All
I think they
you
give
better
you,
step it.
And you just wonder behind the scenes if the NFL's like, hey, look, we don't need more penalties.
Well, I mean,
give them a little grace period where you've got a second here or there. And it just seems like college officials, not as tight as NFL officials, seems like they're going to try to call it a little quicker.
I think what the NFL knows is nobody watches a game to see a referee march off a 5-yard penalty.
I do think it's something interesting to watch really the first month of the season. I think we will see a lot of delay penalties.
Here's what Jalen Milroe thinks of the in-helmet communications and how it's been going for the Alabama quarterback, if you missed that in our conversations with him.
In-helmet communications is going to be new this year. Have you guys tested it out? How's that going for you? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you want to take it off sometimes? How do you feel about that?
I'll say, spring ball was awesome because that was our first chance to get used to it and see how we like it, dislike it, and how we can adjust to it. So spring ball was a great opportunity to use the new system in the helmets. But I do like it. Because you have the process of communicating with the coach, and you have that verbiage. So it's a quicker dialogue as far as approach to getting to the line of scrimmage and things like that. But just from my experience for spring ball, I do like it a lot, and I'm glad we're going to have it this season.
Who's the coach? Is it Coach Sheridan?
Yep,
Is that the one
Coach
that's coming in?
Sheridan.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you kind of got that rhythm with him now, you think?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Has there been a situation where it's cut off mid play call and you're like, what do I do now?
Nah. So it's funny because at practice, with the more practice that you now have the dialogue between what's too much, what's too little.
Right.
As far as communication, hey, I want you to just tell me this, or hey, this is too much verbiage of how to communicate. Whatever the play call is or what the defense is presenting. So now you have feedback between this is the volume too loud in the helmet, or things like that.
Right.
So. But no, I think it's been good because I just give him feedback hey, this is some things I like, don't like.
Yeah. So does he do the YX trick banana whatever? Watch that free safety now, and don't forget the corner. Is he giving you? And you're whoa, now I got to call the play too.
So also, you got to think about if you're having a conversation with somebody hey, so how's y'all day going? I can hear it. I can hear it in the helmet. You know what I'm saying? So I get done with my rep. Hey, coach, I heard what you said about me.
I can't believe he's wide open. I can't believe you missed that one. Yeah. You come out here and try it, Nick.
Yeah, for real.
Jalen Milroe there with us on the set out in Dallas.
I will tell you, Jalen, extremely loose.
Oh, yeah.
Much different than we saw him last year. And back to Kalen DeBoer, he's one of those guys, he'd probably be a good pilot. I don't think he gets stressed out at all. I was talking about Ryan Day's stress earlier, and it just seems to wear on him. Just seems like Kalen DeBoer just doesn't have any stress.
No, the guy does nothing but win.
I can't wait to see him in season, right? We've seen full 4 or 5 different long interviews with him. We've seen a lot of Kalen DeBoer this offseason. I can't wait to be around him during the season and see what he's like during the season and how it all plays out. CPAP Plus bringing you this part of the show, a company that really has changed the life of one of our friends.
Yeah, our buddy Josh Ush has gone in there. He's been a CPAP user for years. I told this story because he came up. He was really excited to share with us on Monday. He's had trouble with insurance and doctors and just getting everything right and getting the proper equipment. He goes to CPAP Plus, and they handled everything. It was turnkey. They made the phone calls. They made sure the insurance was approved. That's the type of things they will do for you at a local level. If you're one of those, you're ordering your CPAP supplies online from Amazon, don't do it. Go see the folks at CPAP Plus. See what you're actually buying. Visit any of those 3 convenient locations. Pelham, Highway 280, now open and trustful. They've got free CPAP checkups, free filters, no appointments needed. They carry the best equipment from names like ResMed, React, Fisher Paykel with masks and supplies in stock every day. If you need it today, guess what? They've got it today. With over 200 5-star reviews on Google, the folks at CPAP Plus are CPAP users themselves, so the people helping you know what it's like and are ready to help. Sign up for their July giveaway for a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or go into one of those 3 convenient locations. Tell them the next round sent you.
In the MyBookie.ag chat room, Troy says, did Hugh not say everyone got the system for spring ball? They only got theirs a month ago. Am I making that up? Could have sworn I heard him say that. No, Hugh said in the interview we did with him, you can see it the same place you can see those on demand on our YouTube channel, Next Round Live. They haven't used it yet.
That's right.
They're going to. They didn't have it for spring.
That's right.
As Kalen DeBoer said, there was a supply and demand issue. There weren't enough of them. And I don't know that that's why Auburn didn't. I'm not saying that, Alabama got theirs, Auburn didn't. I don't know what happened.
It
but
seems
they have
like
not used it yet.
you kind of need to be on a level playing field. Like if there's only so much supply, there's a ton of demand, and all these programs have money. So I don't know how you would let people cherry pick.
Yeah, I don't know. And again, I don't know that it was that Auburn couldn't get it and Alabama could. Maybe Auburn just chose not to do it.
You're not painting a scenario where Alabama is already unwrapping theirs and Auburn's watching a spinning wheel hoping to load up in a queue.
But I am saying Hugh Freeze told us they have yet to test it. So Alabama is certainly further along in this aspect than Auburn is.
Used it all
There's no
spring
doubt.
and still using it in the summer.
And that doesn't mean that Auburn can't catch up and won't use it in the season. I don't know, but they have not done it yet. He is not making that up. That is what Hugh told us.
As using the old booster there, Zach says, wait, Auburn has a super booster. How'd they not have money to get them in quickly? Well, maybe Alabama was using the Android version and Auburn was waiting on the Apple version.
That's right. Apple version was sold out.
Of all of that there. That's interesting. So, too, is Ryan Day at Big Ten Media Days. We asked the question, Rockstar, give us cut number 19 here. Ryan Day, how he was going to handle the conversation about his Ohio State Buckeyes. They are, it's Georgia and Ohio State, Little Texas, Georgia and Ohio State. So here is Ryan Day, courtesy of our friends of the Big Ten Network, on handling these expectations for OHIO.
I'm sure a lot of coaches will say it. You can't really, focus on what happened the year before. You can't get too worried about what's coming down the road. But we all know there's a lot of, noise and a lot of hype around this team. And what we can't do is, let those distractions, grab our focus from what we need to do day in and day out. We know it's going to be a long season, but we got to have a great preseason. We got to have a physical preseason. We got to lay that foundation for what's going to come as we head throughout the season. But we're very, very excited about our guys. We have great experience in that locker room and some great talent. But it's going to take more than talent. It's going to take all the no-talent issues to get to where we want to be and reach our goals.
I can't look at anything else. I'm a bags under the eyes guy. Lance has me now just focused on that with Ryan Day.
Well, it's hard to find an image without the bags under the eyes.
And I got them.
For me, I can't look at anything else except for over the last 5 seasons, averaging 41.8 points per game. How do they ever lose?
It is.
Well, they
don't.
They don't. It's when they play an elite defense like Michigan, and I think Michigan has obviously gotten in their head. You just wonder where Michigan's going to be at the end of the year. If they've got 3 or 4 losses, it still could make their season. I thought it was interesting what Marty said. Like, if you really polled Ohio State fans and said, look, you're going to lose to Michigan, but that's the only game you're going to lose this year. You're going to end up going 14-1 or 15-1, whatever the number is. You're going to win the national championship, but you're going to lose to Michigan for 4 consecutive years. I mean, what's the approval rating of that scenario?
It wasn't 4 consecutive years, but we saw that scenario play out in this state when Alabama lost the 2017 Iron Bowl and went on to win the national championship. And I don't hear a whole lot of Alabama fans bellyaching about that Iron Bowl. Now, that's different in that Nick Saban owned the Iron Bowl when he was there. I mean, I can't remember what the final tally ended up, but wasn't he 13 and I don't know, whatever it was.
I know he lost at least 3. Kick 6,
he lost,
2017.
He lost 7-10, 7-10, 13, 17, 19, right? I think he lost 5. So he's 12-5 in 17 years. I mean, that's an Iron Bowl. That's really good.
Outside of Hugh Freeze, Gus had his number more than anyone.
Yeah. So it's a different scenario, but I don't ever hear an Alabama fan be like, look, I know we won the 2017 on a walk-off from Tua to Devontae, but my God, we lost that Iron Bowl. We lost that Iron Bowl. I mean, you just don't hear it. Yeah. Now, if it's 4 straight, though, Lance, that is going to hit a little different. I agree with you 100%.
All right, Champy's Chicken, bringing you this part of the show. We got 3 things we'll do before trash in the next segment. A graphic from Little T, an unbelievable college football play that none of you saw last night in Computer World, and a new hairstyle. All that's coming up. Show brought to you by our friends at Champy's, champyschicken.com. Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go see Sterling for lunch. Trash and some fun on the internet when we come back on TNR.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters. It is the will to prepare to win." Hi, I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryant Bank, and I can tell you that our Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that is right for you. At Bryant Bank, we specialize in community banking and offer personal and business loans, checking and savings account, mobile banking, and treasury management services. Stop by one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama to find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about.
College football playoff season not far away. Little T had updated mybookie.ag odds posted yesterday to win the SEC championship. And here's the way that graphic looked on our social media site. Georgia's still your betting favorite, plus 183, odd number, plus 183 to win the SEC championship. Texas at plus 330. Ole Miss now plus 700. Bama plus 750 ahead of LSU. Tennessee A&M, no love for Mizzou at plus 1650 to win the SEC.
That's actually pretty good value, right, Lance?
It's 16, really 17 to 1. Yeah, I was telling Lil T, they've gotten really specific on these numbers. I was like, let's do some rounding jobs.
Yeah, why is Georgia plus 183? Explain that.
I've never seen a 183.
I
haven't either. But I was saying I would round up to either 190 or down to 180.
You would think, right?
Yeah.
Yep. But that's still Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, Alabama, LSU ahead of Tennessee, A&M ahead of Missouri.
Yeah, I think if you get LSU to 10 to 1, I think it's worth taking a flyer because I do think there's going to be 3 or 4 10-2 teams. I know Greg Sankey doesn't want to hear that, or at least didn't. It was grouchy Greg in our conversation in Dallas. But if LSU was to sneak in that game and you've got them at 10 to 1 to win one game scenario.
After I went to bed last night, I had 2 people. I woke up this morning to the text me. I think one of them was me and Dunaway, and then one of them was me, about the Sankey interview, how much they enjoyed it. But one of the ones, the one that sent it just to me, described it as spicy.
Yeah.
That was a spicy interview with Greg Sankey. I loved it, was the text.
Yeah, he was not on the same page with us to start things off. Tell us about our friends at HydroLive, and then I got a couple other videos for you here.
Very important to stay hydrated. IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, all under one roof. HydroLive Therapy open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. 2 locations in Birmingham, the original. In Homewood, there is one, Highway 119 in Greystone. Also a Tuscaloosa location. Very important. When you mention the next round, you're going to get 20% off any of those great services. Membership makes a ton of sense. You're basically going to recoup the IV membership fee in just one visit with that free IV bag every single month. Again, make sure you mention the next round when you head into one of those 3 locations. For more information, go online, hydrolivetherapy.com.
Forrester, before you show it, I send headlines to go out on our show tweet every morning to Taylor. The headline I sent was, will the real Joe Burrow please stand up? Please stand up. Did you see his new hairstyle yesterday?
I didn't. Everybody's saying Eminem. I don't see that at all.
I 100% see it. I mean, it's a more muscular, better built Eminem.
Okay, so I didn't see the blonde unless somebody filled that in.
No, that's real. That was a color.
Yeah,
now we're sure because I saw the other one where you just had the buzz cut. There's another one out there where it's the dark hair and the buzz cut. So I never saw, and I was wondering, I was like, why in the hell are people saying Eminem? But now that makes sense.
Yeah, that's apparently him walking into the facility with.
Why would he blonde his hair like that?
It's camp. I guess you're just trying to loosen things up. And
I'm fearful this is an internet hoax now, Jim.
Are you really?
Yeah, I think it is.
I am.
There's no way.
I've not
Burrow
thought
would
twice
do that.
about it, but I'm fearful this is an internet hoax.
You've never been hooked before, have you?
Show up as Con Air?
That's true. He did.
Yeah, I think just the shaved head says enough. All business going in. There's no way he would frost these tips like that.
Yeah, but speaking of internet hoaxes, EA Sports College Football, a guy named CC who's out of the Atlanta area. I don't know if you can. You got to work hard to get this play to happen. He runs a fake extra point here, and watch the fake extra point. Now, this is going to play out a little bit if anybody's got a live read to do. Now, he's going the wrong way on this now what becomes a 2-point conversion.
And this is the kicker running it.
Yeah. Penn
So
State
we've got
on
people
the road.
posting this stuff now, and they're going viral?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, now he's fumbled.
Uh-oh.
Now he's picked it up.
This is going horribly wrong, Jim.
Wait, so this game is really realistic.
Yeah. Oh, now. Oh, but he's got him right where he wants him, LT.
Uh-oh.
Oh, just needs one miss.
He
comes
look
back.
at the kicker.
Oh,
now he's got blockers.
Now he's got a wall.
Now he's going to get walked down and stripped.
That would be awesome.
Don Beebe's coming up behind him.
All this for
please show what about
2 points. What a great play.
Oh, Brown would have thrown his drink.
Lance, the Diet Coke would have exploded, and I would have thrown the controller against the wall, and I would have never played Tyler again.
Yeah,
Tyler
you
is the one that would have done that.
Made it official. I've got no desire to play this game after what, Indiana won your championship?
No, the runner-up.
Far more realistic than that play. Indiana winning the championship.
Lost to Utah. Yellow cake. My controller would have gone straight through the drywall. Zach, these things are 100% staged. John, remember when y'all trashed me for saying the game had issues at media days?
I didn't trash Lunceford. I was just surprised at how immediately down.
No, I was too, just because of how hyped up the game was coming in, and they were like,
Lim says no kicker can run that far. That's what I thought. At some point on the 20-yard line, he's going to stop and go.
I don't know anybody that can run that far.
Yeah. Let's get to trash today. It's brought to you by Mortgage Right Rockstar. The big button, please.
And the Rockets,
Carl.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Hey, if you're looking for a new home, our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. Whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned home buying veteran, their great service and low rates make the process so easy. Speaking of veterans, they are veteran-founded right here in Birmingham. So remember, whether you're looking for your final home, your first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right, one-stop shop for mortgages. Visit them online, mortgageright.com. Call that Birmingham office, 205-900-7200, MLS 2239, equal housing lender. Rocky, I am going to assume you've got pictures to go with our first story.
All right.
These are the top 10 worst album covers according to Rolling Stone. Number 10, Capadonna by Black Tarzan in 2021.
Boy, that is bad. I mean, that is
a lot of cutout photos.
Yeah.
Why do you think they're cut out?
I mean, I could have done that as a 8th grade science project.
No, this looks like something Johnny Lawrence would do in Cobra Kai.
Now, is Black Tarzan still touring?
Tarzan. Oh, I don't know, bro.
Boy, that is bad there.
I don't know what's up with just throwing a deer down there, though. Do you?
That lion, that bear's got to have something to eat.
Half lion, half man.
I mean, throw something else. Throw a honey badger, something in there that's intimidating. Number 9, Dolly Parton, Bubbling Over from 1973.
Not Dolly. Is that photoshopped?
She's admiring herself.
She's coming out of a fountain there, boys.
Where do we stand, Dolly? Do you remember that brick wall? She's got a bunch of bricks.
She's standing in front of a State Farm building.
That album cover's due today. That's today.
All I have on is this orange and this Tampa Bay Buccaneer throwback dress.
Number 8, Three Dogs Night, Hard Labor from 1974.
Oh, my God.
This is not real.
Well, now, what is giving birth there? Look at the
it's
legs.
an alien.
That doctor is shocked.
Now,
it's an album.
For context, Three Dog Night was strung out on heroin and a lot of different drugs.
Yeah.
So this is probably a dream they had. Number 7.
No, wait. What was the old speeds back then? I'm sorry, you're only 45 dilated. I need to get you to a 33.
It's a black hole.
Number 7 on the list, Kanye West, The Life of Pablo from 2016.
We had a space issue on the top.
I mean,
he's got a blonde J-Lo down low, though.
I mean, you do wonder, is it artsy or lazy? Which one is it? Do you think it was artsy or lazy?
Or financial?
I'm thinking that's artsy.
Yeah.
Is it financial?
That's true.
We can only afford this today.
Number 6, Aretha Franklin's Hey Now Hey, The Other Side of the Sky from 1973.
Very confusing. Very confusing.
Is that Barbara Streisand meets the Mona Lisa?
Yeah, that Streisand's what I see.
Yeah, it's super confusing right there.
So that's not Aretha?
It is.
Well, I think it's supposed to be Aretha, but I don't think it is.
And then she's got an Aretha, upside down Aretha is a Klinger booger hanging in her left nostril.
That's pretty much
the
it.
left ear is a European island, maybe. Number 5 on the list, Ted Nugent's Love Grenade from 2007.
Oh,
I don't see what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
He's not controversial at all.
He is not.
Yeah, don't pull the pin.
Number 4, Crosby, Still and Nash, Live It Up, 1990.
Don't put this album behind the other album.
No, I love it. I love how they've got the construction or power workers just scaling the stick.
Somebody's gonna have to do it in the moon when we get to the moon there, man.
Number 3, Creed's Weathered from 2001.
Terrible.
What am I looking at? They're in a tree.
They've been carved out.
They've carved out of a tree.
They've been weathered.
Okay.
Number 2, Roger Daltrey's Ride a Rock Horse from 1975.
Oh, my.
I don't have a problem with this one.
You don't?
No. I mean, compared to the other ones, this one's like, I mean, what year was this? This was in the 70s.
75.
I mean, I could 100% see this in the 70s.
And finally, the number 1 worst album cover according to Rolling Stone is Limp Bizkit's Presents Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water from 2000.
Not to mention it's a terrible album title.
Yeah.
It's a butt joke.
It is. Yeah.
Thank you.
Wealthy tourist, $1,000 mistake with a Las Vegas prostitute ended up being very costly mistake after she took off with his jewels that cost nearly $120,000. Now,
okay, so real jewelry.
Yeah.
Okay.
The unidentified man met the high-priced escort, identified as Maya Molesky, after a night of gambling at the Bellagio on the glitzy Las Vegas Strip in July of 2022. The next morning, the man woke up alone in his bed, discovered Molesky was gone, and so was his $85,000 Rolex, $30,000 gold necklace, and $3,000 in cash.
So you can't trust escorts anymore is what you're telling me.
According to this, no.
Yeah.
Now, the man reported the incident to the Las Vegas police. Surveillance footage showed the initial meeting and Molesky exiting the hotel wearing a large gold chain and watch. As per the police report, a warrant has been issued for her arrest earlier this month, and she was caught and booked into jail. She has been charged with grand larceny, burglary, and possessing stolen property.
So if she's a high-end escort, as a guy who's never traded in these trades, what would Julia Roberts been called?
Oh, yeah.
A Pretty Woman.
Yeah. Is that what that was described? I missed that part of the story. High-end escort right there? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The highest of end, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if she was walking the streets of, West Hollywood.
Did somebody dot that left eye, or is that a tattoo?
It's a tat.
It is a tat.
She looks what you call mean.
High-end escort.
You think she's ever gone hands and used those, she's ever pulled a weave out?
I think I would, I'm with Dunaway. High-end escort here is...
I don't think she'd ever be on the cover of Love Grenade.
According to this survey,
don't pull the pin.
1 in 3 Americans has an idea they think they could one day make them wealthy, according to new research. Now, from writing the next big novel to a hot stock tip or never-before-seen product, the survey saw 33% say they feel they have a tantalizing idea they think can make them waves in the market. Now, if that doesn't come to fruition, there's always hope. 1 in 5, those polled, 19%, have a feeling in their bones one day they're going to win big on the lottery or Powerball. Survey conducted by Talker Research in partnership with Wealth of Geeks saw as many as 17% of those with wealth-generating ideas. They said they have an idea that involves inheritance or using family money. Men significantly more likely to feel confident that their idea was going to make them wealthy one day, 39% versus 26% of women. 27% have a stock tip they feel has potential to bring them a fortune. Does Shark Tank await? A quarter, 26% of those think the big idea they've thought of a game-changing product that has not been done before. I do always have something, like, they never work out, but I've always got something that's there like, hey.
In the back of your mind.
Yeah, this is a Hail Mary. If it works out, this is great. I think it is nice to have something that you work on, and if it comes to fruition, great, knowing that a good majority of the time it's not.
I keep thinking I'm going to win the lottery, and then I have a deep thought voice occasionally that says, look around you, Jim.
Yes.
You already have.
Jim, you don't have a lottery ticket. You're in a state where it's not played.
Love grenade.
Hashtag for the 12.
No, I used to, between the ages of like 18 and 24, I thought, one day I've got a shot at the lottery. And then, as your brain develops, you figure that it's never going to happen.
I cannot remember the name of this organization, but I know a lot of people got involved in it. But I saw a story where one of these pyramid schemes shut down the pyramid side and basically flipped to a more legitimate business model. And I can't remember the name of the company. So basically what that means is like if you were in it, Dunaway, you've helped build them up, and they're like, man, we appreciate it. We're going to go the other route here. Good luck to you. And now you've got all this income coming in. Now you're done.
Yeah, I'm a second tier investor in this thing now.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah. Not anymore. You're not. Yeah. Now they own the whole company, and guess what? You're just SOL.
Caribbean Intel PhoneTel. I'm in on this.
I cannot remember the name of the company, but it was one of those pyramid schemes, and I think that's multiple times that's been done now, where they get all these people to build them up, and then they flip it to a privately owned company, and all the people that help build them up are out in the cold.
Sounds about right.
Seems like that's a lawsuit.
Yeah, they probably will have a class action lawsuit, but I'm going to guess the lawyers on that other side are pretty good, too.
A couple have been left hungry and disappointed after being invited to a formal wedding, only to be directed to a do-it-yourself ramen bar for dinner. Now, the couple said they were directed to dress in formal wear for the event, were asked to choose between chicken and fish for dinner in the RSVP. Now, the disappointed couple wrote a post on Reddit, quote, "We dressed to the gills." So when it came time for the reception, they couldn't believe that instead of their fancy chicken meal, there was self-serve instant ramen noodle bar instead. Just instant ramen, cubed ham, some vegetables here and there, kids-sized chip bags to top it off. It was also BYOB, shocked couple said. Now, the wedding guest had skipped dinner, expecting there to be a feast at the reception, but instead they were starving, had to buy their own fast food. Quote, "I've been to a lot of weddings. I'm not a snob by any means, but that wedding is the tackiest one I've ever attended," according to the woman. People were quick to judge the bride and groom, with many slamming them for being so cheap, but the couple insisted that serving the ramen to some guests was not a mistake. They said they wanted to make it a little different. Here's the thing, though. I don't know why you do a formal wedding if you're going to do it like this.
Yeah.
I really don't care. I don't like eating at weddings to begin with. I've done it,
Now,
but I would rather not.
Define formal wedding. Is that black tie for me as
they
a
were
guest?
directed to dress in formal wear for the event.
That's black tie, right? Okay.
I'm not going to eat in a tux. I'm not going to eat ramen.
Because I've been to a wedding before. Now, it wasn't formal. I mean, I had on a suit, but they had, and I thought this was cool for people that like it, but they had the little bag of Fritos, and they would do the Frito pie in it. I think the groom liked that or something. Well, that was a cool thing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that wasn't the only meal they had.
Right.
That was just like a little neat thing they were doing for the groom.
Hello Kitty.
Hello, Kitty.
What type of an animal is Hello Kitty?
I would guess a cat.
I saw this
based on the name.
I cannot answer.
No, it's a cat.
I don't believe this.
No, it's a cat. How could it be?
It is a cat. It's the only way it can be.
Now, it all kicked off after Jill Cook, the director of retail business development for the Sanrio, the Japanese company that made the iconic character, appeared on Today's Show to celebrate Hello Kitty's 50th anniversary and uttered the earth-shattering words, quote, "She's actually a little girl."
No, I don't think she
Shortly
is.
after Cook's appearance, dozens of people took to TikTok to address the whole "not a cat" bomb. Indeed, weirdly enough, no one seemed to care one bit about the fact that Cook also shared that Hello Kitty loves to bake cookies and is 5 apples tall. In reality, all anyone could talk about was the fact that the entire time they had believed this girl was a cat. That is a cat.
Yeah, that's 100% a cat. I have had 2 daughters,
Do you know where she lives?
and that's going to be where? My daughters or the cat?
Hello Kitty. Her and her family live in London. What?
Okay.
There's a lot of cats in London.
Yeah, I've had
She's not a
2.
cat.
I've had 2 daughters. None
is
of
a cat.
them had whiskers and cat ears. Okay,
Yeah.
so I think that's 2 out of a
Do they
lot.
have mouths?
I mean, it's a
Yeah, it's true. They did have mouths.
It's a rough drawing, so the ears could be explained away as ponytails or whatever.
Okay,
but you can't explain away the whiskers.
Yeah, and the fact that it's Hello Kitty.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a kitty. People used to be named Kitty, I guess.
Kitty. Yes.
Yeah, but the whiskers, you can't explain away the
Yeah, it's going to be tough right there. Yeah. We could say that's a girl all you want.
She has a pet porcupine.
Yeah. It's kind of like.
And how are the whiskers located above the eye?
Well, I mean, and there's no mouth, as Rockstar pointed out. Does she talk?
And no feet.
Yeah.
It's 5 apples tall. That's
5 apples. How tall are you?
small.
About 5 apples. Yep. There was the song Closing Time, Rockstar. Semisonic said it is about his wife giving birth. Everybody else in the world thinks it's about a bar closing.
Yeah, I think it's a bar closing.
So you can say all you want. No, I wrote the song. It's about my wife getting birth. But if everybody else thinks it's about a bar closing, your song's about a bar closing, right? You can say all you want. It's a girl. But if everybody else thinks it's a cat, guess what it is?
Yeah,
it's a cat.
All right.
Yeah.
Like, there are some people that think they can fly and they've tried it, and guess what?
That's
It
right.
doesn't work out.
Guess what? You cannot fly. Yes.
You end up being like a rock. That is Mortgage Right in Trash on the Table today.
It is buying season. Our friends at Mortgage Right here to help before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance. Talk with the team at Mortgage Right. No cost or obligation to find out what you qualify for. You get more information by going to their website. Go to mortgageright.com/TNR or call that Highway 280 office in Birmingham, 205-900-7200.
All right. So when we come back, Forrester says Deshaun Foster has made his debut at Big Ten Media Days, and it is must-see. Is it must-see?
Okay.
Give me Forrester's microphone. Is it must-see?
I'm not sure how to describe it. It's awkward.
Okay.
It is awkward.
Then it is must-see.
Awkward. When we come back from Big Ten Media Days and the new coach of the Bruins of the University of California, Los Angeles.
Everything Alabama, all the time. Subscribe and set alerts at Roll Tide Pods on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urology centers, alabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok while we're changing the game yet again. Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the next round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Final segment of the show today being brought to you by our friends at Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics.
Look who's here.
Yeah.
There he is.
Tell us about this. Look who's here. Let's do a live read, man. Tell us about Precision Sports. What can you tell us about Precision Sports?
Lance, the last time we were this close, we kind of bombed in trivia, so this isn't good.
Okay, it's a wheel spin.
I need the phone number now because I always forget my own phone numbers. But yeah,
it's interesting how we met, though, because we actually met with me having an L4, L5 problem and going to Dr. Patterson.
Yep.
And then from there, I was like, hey, I might as well reach out to these guys advertising-wise. And then you and I
became friends.
We became friends. Right. I mean, we're still friends, I hope. But
your friendship's in better shape than his L4, L5.
This
probably.
is true, and I know we've got some injuries going around. And by the way, the man behind the curtain with Precision, but Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. You hear Jim talk about it all the time. You see the commercials. Lance has used them. Jim has used them. I think a few others around here at the next round have. But we've got those locations anywhere from, like we said, Jim, Jasper, all the way down to Alabaster, everybody in between, whether it's Homewood or over in the West Birmingham area. But precisionsportsortho.com/2024, that's the number that you need to call, which is 205-512-3885. It is those late summer days, tweaks, pulls, pains, breaks, sprains, anything from pickleball to now sports injuries as the kids get back on the field, 7-on-7 tournaments. All these terrible things are going to cause injuries to you. My guys at Precision are going to hook you up. Again, precisionsportsortho.com/2024 or 205-512-3885.
Wow.
How'd that go?
Like he's done that before.
Dr. Patterson keeps LT and I together sometimes right now. Well, thank you, man.
Yeah, well done. The Pavlik
7 tournaments.
Okay, enjoy y'all's the rest of the summer for you.
Yeah. Or as we like to call it, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Back to school. Back to school, baby.
Back to school soon. Yep. A crazy moment at Big Ten Media Days. Any setup needed, Forrester? Here, do you give me a microphone, Forrester, again? What's happening here?
Okay, so this is the very first thing Deshaun Foster has said at his very first Big Ten Media Day.
That's the very first thing I will ever see him say. I've never seen him say anything
Me either.
else.
Here, first impression of the UCLA coach hit at Rockstar.
Let's go.
Coach Foster, welcome to the Big Ten. We'll begin with your opening statement.
How you guys doing? I'm happy to be here. Glad to be a part of this great conference. Finally putting two great emblems together, UCLA and the Big Ten. We're a school that's won, 123 championships, so this fits us being right in this conference. Football-wise, we're just excited. You know, I'm sure you guys don't know too much about UCLA, but our football program, but we're in LA. It's us and USC. We I'm just basically excited, really.
What's going on?
Any questions?
Well, what was he trying to be funny in it?
No, I don't think so. I just think he was nervous.
Yeah, I think he got out there and it was bigger than he thought it was going to be.
You know, the only thing I compare this to, Nick Sirianni, when he took over the Eagles job, I mean, he was a fish in water. He was kind of shaking, kind of sweating a little bit.
Yeah.
And look, it worked out. You hate that he's in that situation, but if you're not prepared, all you got to do is bring out a couple of note cards and at least hit those points. You can keep it short. But that was so awkward.
Didn't somebody...
He basically blacked out.
Like, some people don't do opening statements.
I think it was Mike Leach. I think Mike Leach one time was like, I don't want to do an opening statement. Let's just do questions.
Go do questions right there.
And you could do that. But he could have something prepared on a card. Just, hey, look, UCLA, we're excited about joining this conference. Yeah. You know, I know a lot of people don't have a lot of expectations for us. We do internally. You don't have to tell us from LA.
I don't want to throw...
Then they throw USC in there.
I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but the person who's handling him... Almost like he didn't know I'm supposed to give an opening statement until I was walking out on stage.
Oh, by the way, you got an opening statement.
No, but you can tell he's nervous while he's drinking the water, walking out.
I do think, and Little T said in the mybookie.ag chat room, that just made me sad for him. I do think it was just nerves.
Yeah.
Like, so another thing, that is in Lucas Oil Field, so you could hear the echo of the stadium. And that is, a lot of people have not done public speaking. When you're in a situation like that, it can throw you off. Like you hear yourself echoed back to you.
And you can overthink it too. He could be sitting to the side. He could be looking around, and he could be like, oh, damn, I'm so overwhelmed. Now, we do finally have somebody that Biden might have been able to beat in the debate.
I don't know. There's already doubts about this guy.
Well, because he's, not really, he's a former player so recently. Now he's the coach. He's taking over when Chip left to be an offensive coordinator. They've got funding issues. They're having to pay $10 million to Cal every year. So they've got some major issues.
But back to the thing that you brought up yesterday with P.J. Fleck at Minnesota. Like, P.J. Fleck would have been such a better, at least ambassador, a better look for this brand right here. I still don't believe P.J. for UCLA, but if in fact he did, UCLA just didn't have the money for him.
Yeah, I think they're probably paying Deshaun Foster much less than what they would have to pay P.J. Fleck.
Yeah. I think you were the first person, it was either you or LT, that it rang home to me that the head coach makes enough money to live close to campus.
Yeah.
But if I'm one of the other assistants, I can't live in the 90210.
Well,
I got to battle LA traffic to drive to work every day.
And Cerritos, or I mean,
back in our AM days, one of our guests, it might have been Bruce Feldman or somebody like this, clued us into that. Like, that is
New Heisel, I don't know.
Yeah, that is something that UCLA battles, is that their coaches have to drive an hour sometimes just to get to work, and it's tough because you're working long days already. You leave the facility in Auburn or Tuscaloosa, you're home in 10 minutes to your family. And that is vital family time because these college coaches get very little of that.
Yeah, and this is a true story. So I lived in Westwood, and I worked at Universal Studios, and I worked the 3 to 11 shift. So I'd get off at 11 at night.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get home until midnight. So it was a full hour commute, and it might have been from Universal City to Westwood, maybe 12, 15 miles.
Yeah. Now imagine I'm a college football coach, and I've worked till 7 or 8 o'clock, which that's pretty early for a college football coach to leave in season.
You're not seeing your kids go to bed.
I'm not seeing my kids go to bed. And then, by the way, my kids get up. I might see them right before they go to school.
And I got to go ahead and go because I got to beat traffic to get back.
I got to have the 7 a.m. staff meeting.
You've almost got to treat this like a Group 5 job, and you've got to get like really good, young, energetic coaches and just hope that you're able to cycle in every 3 or 4 years and win 8 games every other year, and maybe every 4 or 5 years get 10 wins, and these guys get better jobs. And I just don't know what the solution is going to be for UCLA.
He may prove everybody wrong. There are tons of doubters about Deshaun Foster there, and I'm among them.
I'm pulling for him now.
I kind of am too. I felt sorry for him right there. I think he was just overwhelmed by it all. But what would you set his total win total?
3.5.
No, not this year. I mean, as UCLA coach.
I don't know if he ever gets double digits.
Yeah, I would say 8.5 probably is your because I think you got at least 2 years, maybe 3 based on where they are financially.
He's one of their greats, so I do think that matters. You're not going to fire one of your greats as quick as you would some outsider. I mean, Deshaun Foster, let's don't forget. I mean, he's a great UCLA football player.
He tore up Alabama.
Oh, yeah. Dunaway, you saw one of his best days.
Like, you know what, to a tin horn.
Yeah.
You couldn't stop him that day. Rockstar cut 18. Flip side of that, guy who is 100% comfortable behind a microphone and will be in Tuscaloosa on the day they dedicate the field to Nick Saban. Scary game last year for Alabama. Could be scary again. Alex Golich, the head coach of USF, some say future coach of the Florida Gators, got asked this question at American Athletic Conference Media Days.
You're playing teams like Bama, Miami. You played Bama last year as well. Do you think it's important to continue having those matchups, even though last year the playoff committee didn't seem to put much of a value on strength of schedule when setting who that team from this group would be?
Yeah, Bama and Miami got to play South Florida. So
a little attitude.
I think it's absolutely imperative for us to play the best teams we possibly can. I think playing Miami at home is an absolutely huge deal for us. We did it for a long time in the Big East days, and they've got to come play in Tampa. I think going to Alabama is absolutely huge for us. They came to our place. We had every opportunity to go be successful in that game, couldn't finish it. Now we get to go redeem ourselves. I think that's what college football is, man. Like, to me, you don't want to go play in Tuscaloosa. You don't want to host Miami at home. Like, I think it's awesome. I think that's what college football is.
Yeah, so
he kind of recovered a little bit there. Very arrogant at the beginning. They've got to play South Florida. I think South Florida's going to be much improved, and they were a quality 7-6 last year, but I don't know if that's the way I would have gone about it.
I do like the attitude, though. I mean, you do at some point have to sell your guys on, hey, listen, we're not just playing these games to get a paycheck. You know, our program could be better than that.
And South Florida has a history of doing that.
I think the whole what happened against Alabama has gotten overplayed last year. I think we all know what was at play there. If Jalen Milroe starts that game, Alabama wins that game going away.
I mean, bad conditions. They had a quarterback playing and Tyler Buckner that had an arm tied behind his back.
Yeah, and you had Nick Saban trying to make a point there, I believe. So I think that's gotten a little bit overplayed. But, I mean, I do think on the other side of that, if you're Alex Golesh, you've got to convince your team you're that good. You know, we had Alabama in a one-score game last year at our place.
And they were our semifinal.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter, I mean, it's good to have the attitude. Again, hey, they've got to play South Florida. A little much there. But the reality of the situation is you don't have to win those games.
You don't.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. But you also don't want your team going in just thinking, oh, this is a guarantee game. Let's just get our check and go home. I mean, he knows what he knows is if I can find a way to win one of those games, I'm probably not the coach of South Florida next year.
Landmine Believer in the MyBookie.ag chat room says that's his pick to be the Group of 5 playoff representative. You think they've got a chance to be that team too, right?
I mean, I've kind of leaned that way. Not 100% in yet.
Yeah. So that's some of the media day sound today. Ryan Day embracing some expectations. Alex Golesh saying, hey, Alabama Miami's got to play USF. And then Deshaun Foster in his Deshaun Foster in his first chance at Big Ten Media Days, just being awed by the moment there at Lucas Oil today. One more day of the Big Ten Media Days tomorrow. Michigan and Sherrone Moore, first-time head coach, will wrap up Big Ten Media Days tomorrow as we continue on. Thank you to Jacob Hester. Thank you to Marty Smith. They were on the show today. Hey, don't forget all these things going on our platforms. You got War Dam Pods, Roll Tide Pods, Uncorked. You got the Pennant Grace. You got the Meltdown Live at 2. You see it all right there on your screen right now. Something for everyone on our platforms. Disrupt the Media. Go like and subscribe on that YouTube channel and set your alerts. Thumbs up for everything. We are back tomorrow. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.